That's y'all niggas that.
Just once? You only seen it once?
On a what?
Yeah. I ain't no desire to see that motherfucker again.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I watch Django probably once a month, if not every other week, because it comes on Showtime for some reason every week. Seem like.
Sound about right.
And I find a way to watch it. I find a way to watch different parts of that movie. I do not know why. I don't know why. It was a phenomenal movie.
I wouldn't say all that.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. But you said Army of the Dead was a phenomenal movie.
Who said that?
Oh, it was good. It was really good.
I said I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. It's average then.
Okay, I enjoyed the Django too.
It's not. The D is silent.
What?
The D is silent. It's
What's
James,
silent?
The D. In
The D what?
Django.
Django.
Jenga?
Oh my goodness.
The fuck is y'all talking about? I thought y'all talking about the movie with Samuel L. Jackson, the little slave movie, and Jamie Foxx. Talking about that movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the Django.
It's Django, Merv.
Django, not D Django. It's Django. The D
What the
is
fuck they put the D in there for?
because it's silent. He said it in the movie. Like the D is silent. He said it like specifically. It's pronounced Django, but the D is silent. That's a line in the movie.
Why did you spell it Jango?
He looked real disgusted about that D, man. Like, are you serious?
What? Like, why put the D in it? Why? First of all, it's a made up name, isn't it? It's just for the movie.
No, it's a actual. Oh my goodness, there's a book about it. Never mind.
Is it in Webster?
There is a book.
Is it in Webster?
It's an old Western.
No, Webster.
Webster.
Is it in Webster?
I'm sure it's not.
It's not in Webster Dictionary.
No, it's Merv in the Webster Dictionary.
So that means a made up word, correct?
Not necessarily. We call you Merv. Is Merv in the dictionary? Yeah. Is that a made up name? Is that a made up person?
It's a made up nickname.
You're not winning this argument, man. We're not doing this.
You're not winning either. So I guess we had a what do you call that? A stalemate, impasse. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't. I really don't. What is happening right now?
I don't know.
We had an impasse.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was talking about you today at the gym, matter of fact, man, which is crazy, right?
For what?
We have a mutual friend, Nate. He played football with you back in '99 at USC.
Nate Gary?
Nate, forgot Nate last name. Bodybuilder. Yeah, bodybuilder.
Yeah, Nate Gary.
Yeah. I think he's from y'all neck of the woods. Matter of fact, he's from King Street, I think. King Street area.
Yeah, not from King Street, but yeah, he's from the little country area and shit. Played running back.
Yeah. He be talking about you a little bit today. Because we had some guys.
No. You're talking about Natron Scott.
Natron Scott. Yes, thank you, TJ. Natron Scott.
You didn't say Natron, nigga. You said Nate because there's two Nates up there in the Greenville area. So you say Nate is a Nate Gary that I played football with, and then it's Natron, but you didn't say Natron, but both of them up there in the Greenville area.
Yeah, we call him Nate. But yes, Natron Scott. Matter of fact, me and TJ was talking about that earlier today. TJ played safety for Auburn, same year that you played safety at USC.
Okay.
And TJ was talking greasy about coming on here and bringing 3 or 4 of his boys to challenge us in a debate.
And what? Cut it out. Cut it out.
TJ told me today he threw the challenge
out. Cut it out.
He wanted the 3 of us. And he wanted to bring 3 of his homeboys. TJ is also like a Sigma. So
I already know we good.
So
that's kind of disrespectful, low-key.
Disrespectful. He wants to challenge us in a debate. So I told him anytime. We always open to creating awareness for people and also educating those as well. So we always
we do educate the masses.
We do educate the masses. So TJ, hey, we accept your invite. So come on board. Come on board. Get your boys ready, and make sure they can understand that they're about to get a spanking if they come on here and try to debate with us. So we ready for it. We ready for it. Shout out to the homeboy Marc. Marc's birthday is today. So y'all know we ain't gonna see Marc this whole week, right? Y'all know that, right? Just to
hopefully he don't get locked up, man, because I think he got some nefarious shit planned for this week, man. But hey, be blessed, Marc. Be safe. Happy born on day.
Yes.
Have to switch to born day. Merv got me saying that born day shit. You know, happy born on day.
It's another challenge, bringing some people some perspective. Okay,
I like that.
I like that, TJ. Bring on the perspective, homie. We got them dubs today too. The old man got the dubs today, but you'll get an L over here. I promise you that. But so Marc is not joining us tonight, fellas. He's enjoying his birthday. He wanted to take the week off to reflect on making another lap around the sun. So we salute to that brother for actually just out there doing what he's doing. No telling what Marc is getting into. I don't want to know, and I will not disclose it here on air to incriminate Marc or anybody else that he's with during this week. So Marc, be safe out there, man. We care about you. We are worried about you. So make sure you govern yourself the right way and accordingly. So with that said, Stacks, how you doing out there, homie? How was your weekend, man?
My weekend was decent, man. This heat, man, is just disrespectful. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I went outside Saturday morning to take out the trash, and I'd come to the conclusion that between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m., I just don't think outside is just a place for me no more during those hours in the southern heat. I don't know how Merv do the things he do. I salute that brother. You know, the landscaping business and all that shit during these times, man. It's almost like you going outside the wire in Iraq, bro. That heat dangerous. Damn. And I salute you, but it ain't for me. I'm in the opening stages of my last week with my current employers. It was drama filled today, but got through it. I'll talk to y'all about that offline. In addition to information I already gave both of y'all, but shit's wild, bro. That's all I got to say, man. But motherfuckers be wilding, bro.
Hey, that's the wolves of the world, man. Did you seek counsel? Did you seek any counsel, anything like that for your endeavor this past? I think the last 4 or 5 hours that's been going on.
Did I seek counsel?
Yeah, because I know how you get kind of wind up. So did you?
Oh, absolutely, okay. Absolutely. And again, I reached out to both of y'all motherfuckers because I be need to be reeled back in, Right. Yeah. So y'all did a good job of reeling me back in, but y'all know how I get, man. Yeah. But I'm good now. I'm good.
This dude thought he thought it was a conspiracy against him. He thought the government would try to overthrow him.
Merv told me tell the motherfuckers to kiss my ass. I ain't go that route because I like to keep it professional. Yeah. Nah, Merv ain't tell me that, but yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Merv, how was your weekend, man?
Nigga, I'm just tired. That's all I got to say.
Wow.
It's like that. It's hot out there, man. I think the humidity index was at what, like 101 or something like that in South Carolina over the weekend.
Hey, the group chat where Merv said, man, I think this heat different. And when Merv says that, hey, just don't go outside, man. This motherfucker, let me tell you, this motherfucker loves hot weather, man. He loves hot weather, but when he complaining about the heat, that's when it's not really safe to go outside, bringing pets indoors, all that shit.
He's definitely tropical, but man, this heat is different, man. I went outside very briefly, man. I was like, yo, I can't breathe. I started panicking, man. I was panicking a little bit.
It's like Ace Boogie, I'm breathing different.
My body different. Yo, remember on Harlem Nights when old boy got locked up in that safe?
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy was like, "You got to take small brother." Small brother.
Hey, bro, if you breathe in real hard, you dead to the moment.
Yo, that's what I had to do when I went outside, man. I was drained, man. I went to play ball Saturday morning, and I was done after that. I was like, man, I can't even go outside anymore. I had to like really, really just take a load off, man. Like just relax. It was so you can't do anything outside when it's that hot. You can't really do anything. And I love the heat. I love the heat more than I love the cold. But it was just too much, man. It was unbearable. You know what I mean? But I know Merv was tired because he been texting us over the weekend and like, yo, this is different. Like, we can't go to the store, man. Like, I gotta go get some fluids. Like, yo, that's a different feel, man. So salute the D's and Associates, man. For
got on the merch. Show us the merch, man.
Merch, D's and Associates.
For all your lawn care needs. Go to D's and Associates. He's obviously cutting grass in 120-degree weather.
And insurance.
It's shorts.
Get this life insurance before the next person dies.
Wow, that's real subtle.
Yeah, that's that's real subtle. That's Undertaker-ish. So yeah.
I would call it a shameless plug, but this is Merv we talking about here, man.
Very shameless. Yo,
he has no shame. There's no such thing as shame.
None at all. None at all, man. None at all. They said that was grim. That was pretty grim. He was like, if you don't make it through this heat, Merv does life insurance for your family. Just threw it out there. It's just out there. So
for all your heat stroke needs, come see Merv for fucking insurance.
Right. I do lawn and I do life insurance. Whatever you need for that day, I got you. It's hot. So just leave it at that. Man, let's get into it, fellas. Let's get into it. Stacks, you had something that came off the press, man, that you wanted to throw out there first and foremost. I don't know if Merv had a chance to take a look at it, man, but we were talking backstage. What you got for us, man?
Stephen A. Smith is under fire. He made some xenophobic comments about Shohei Ohtani. For those of you I don't have a picture. Shohei Ohtani is a two-way player for the Anaheim. Well, I think they're the Los Angeles Angels again now. The guy is leading the major league in home runs. They got 32 home runs at the All-Star break. I think he's in the home run derby that's going to come on later. He's also their ace pitcher. So this a lot of people need to understand who don't watch baseball that much. That's generational type shit. We talking about Babe Ruth type shit, and he's putting up his season right now. They put it side by side comparison with Babe Ruth. Anyway, he's from Japan. Mark, I don't know if you caught this, but today Stephen A. Smith said that he don't think it's good for baseball when the face of baseball, the best player in baseball, needs to walk around with a translator. I absolutely do not know why he went there, but I got kind of like an idea. Stephen A. Smith, I don't have an issue with Stephen A. Smith, but sometimes Stephen A. Smith be feeling himself a little bit too much. I think these are one of those times. You got to realize, and Stephen A. Smith, really, he's used to doing I'm used to him having a pretty good idea of what's going on in the world, which he does, and being able to read the room. Those comments were way off-putting, and he's getting murdered on social media, Twitter, and we all know the Asian community, they get more stuff done than we do as far as justice and things of that nature. So I don't know how it's going to work out for that brother. I know ESPN ain't going to get rid of him. I don't think they go that far, but at the same time,
big facts.
He could. That's one of the things I think we were talking about backstage as well. Stephen, over the last 30 years, mostly in our lifetime, the best players in baseball were Dominican, Cuban, and they loosely speak English. A lot of them pick it up as they go on in the league, but I don't see. I think Stephen A's comments were very short-sighted, and everybody's coming for him. Ironically, the only people he's popular with right now is racist white men. So I'm salute to you, Stephen A. Smith, for having those cats on your side. I don't know. What do y'all take on it?
I'm not defending. I'm just hearing this shit now, and what I'm about to say may seem like I'm defending. I'm not defending him at all. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm looking at it where I think he misspoke. And I don't think that was his. It may not have been his intent. He may have been trying to say that the lack of domestic players in Major League Baseball is like just drastically damn near 0% kind of thing. So I think he may have been trying to point that out, that baseball is being dominated almost 100% by everybody else. So maybe that's what he was trying to say. That's the only thing I could think of what his intentions was. Like, it's just, I mean, the nigga black. So I mean, we deal with social injustice and racism. Like, he's been, he knows about it. So it's just, I don't think that his intent was he misspoke. I would think that he misspoke and it wasn't of a racial intent against the Asian community. I think it's more of a, well, now you see that like it's no Americans. It's just baseball has become completely taken over by the Asian, Dominican Republic, and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's not me defending him. It's just hard for me to think that the time he has spoken up about social injustice. So how the hell you gonna speak on social injustice, then turn around and you speak bigotry against someone else? That just don't seem like it. I don't think it was a malice. Nigga chose the wrong words, wrong phrase. That's what I'm thinking. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. He Ingrid's right. Stephen A can be extra sometimes.
Right.
The thing about Stephen A, he's no more of an analyst, right? He's a color commentator. He's a radio personality. That's their new job description or their job title, personality, because they're no longer talking about the analytics of sports. They're more so talking about the things that catch people's attention. And when Stephen A says stuff, he says stuff to get people going. He says stuff for shock value. He's becoming like a shock value DJ. Remember back in the day, you had those shock value DJs like Star, Buck Wild, those guys. They said some wild stuff, and just to get attention grabbers. And I think that's what he did here. I think that he probably stepped on the wrong ant pile, and now you got they're gonna come after him for a little while. He may not lose his job. Not wishing that on him at all.
He's not gonna lose his job, y'all.
No, he's too valuable. He's too valuable to ESPN, and Disney, all of those different ventures that he has going on. He's bringing in money for those guys. There's a reason why he's one of the highest paid commentators out there right now. But I think, Stacks, I talked about this behind the scenes. I think right now Stephen A is living in a world of Stephen A. We feel like he's untouchable because he's been doing this for a long time. Someone put a comment that it's been that way for the last 10 or 15 years. Baseball has never been, I say never, but for the past 20 plus years, there is more representation from other countries in baseball than there is Americans. And it has been like that for a very long time. So for him to say that, that's a very careless take that he made today. And I think that was a very lazy reporting, honestly, because it was something he did for shock value. Because now people are looking at it like, why do you have to say that? That was unnecessary. You know what I mean? The guy is good. That guy is a beast right now. And he really is. He's on track to win MVP, hands down. No one else is close to him for what he's doing. And for Stephen A to say that and not really speak to the guy's value to that team and also the value to the sport itself, that's poor. That's piss poor on his part, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I know Wendy Williams is happy. Like, you get these motherfuckers off me for a while. Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. Shit.
Right. That's all
they stay on her head, but it might work opposite. She might do some more shit. Hey, bring this attention, bring this bad press back over to me. All press is good press. So Wendy Williams might do some shit within this week to bring the press back to her. Absolutely.
So that's to be continued. We'll see what happens from there. We'll see if anything happens. If they, give him a slap on the wrist, or I know he's starting to apologize already. So we'll see We'll see how that works out. The apology had to go out. I think he said it this morning, and the apology is going out like now. So that's a pretty quick turnaround. So somebody got in his ear and said, "Yo, you need to make this right," and I'm sure he will. Stephen is smarter than that. He's way smarter than that. But sometimes he does go overboard. So we'll see what happens from there. So fellas, this weekend, man, it was like really the weekend of champions as they build it, man. A lot of stuff going on. Have you guys had a chance to like really dive into what was going on over the weekend with everything sports related? You had finals going on. Italy, shout out to Italy, man. They won the actual Euro 2020 championship against England. They beat them, I think, 3-2 because of the penalty kicks. So shout out to those guys, man. That was a good. Did y'all watch soccer at all? Anybody watch soccer?
And I don't want to get too deep into this topic, but I watched the match, and it ended up going to PKs. It just so happened that you had three black English players that missed their penalty kicks. And I hate to go back down this road, but they're getting death threats and getting all type of racist comments because England is saying that they blew the European Championship for them. So I mean that just goes to show that shit is just not restricted to the United States. All over the world, you got people that that racist towards black folks. I don't want to get deeper into that, but I found that quite interesting. It was a really good match. It was, I mean, anytime it goes to usually those finals, whether it's World Cup, the Euro Cup, typically the finals damn near almost always goes to fucking PKs.
Oh yeah.
So it was a really good match. You had yesterday was a low key huge day in sports because you also had the Wimbledon final. Shout out to Novak Djokovic. He actually winning Wimbledon yesterday, his sixth Wimbledon title. He actually matched Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer with 20 major Grand Slam titles, which not a GOAT conversation is going on in tennis. It was crazy to me because I listened to his I watched him talk after the match, and he was talking about how he was comparing it like you were saying errors. He was like, I don't think it's fair to make these these GOAT conversations because you gotta it's different eras of tennis and stuff. Like you say, we got better technology. Athletes have evolved and shit. It was striking for me to hear a Serbian athlete talk about stuff that we talk about when we're debating stuff like basketball and things of that nature. But he said he really, he's really humbled to be a part of that GOAT conversation because he most definitely is now. And he's I think Federer's on his way out, even though Federer's still playing top-notch tennis. But he's only 34, so he got a ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Merv, was there anything that struck your attention this weekend for the weekend of the champions? Did you watch any of the other sports like the soccers and Wimbledon, anything like that?
Nah, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's an acquired thing, man. Like I love sports in general. So this weekend you had so many different champions lined up. They also had a championship fight in MMA. They had y'all boy and McGregor and Poirier. So how y'all feel about that, man? This is another loss from McGregor.
UFC, man, I watch it. I'm in the opening stages of really getting into it. So I sat down and I watched I watched a lot of the undercards. They had some good fights. Greg Hardy got his ass knocked the fuck out the first couple of minutes on his fight. He was on that card as well. But I don't like to see gruesome injuries. And Merv, you would have turned away if you seen this shit. It looked like he was standing on he broke his leg. And the side of his foot was like on the ground, like it was the bottom of his foot, and his leg was straight up. It's unfortunate that the match ended like that because it was the first round. It was a good first round, but he broke his leg, and I think now you can correct me if I'm wrong, Shawn. That I think they're already in the talks of having a McGregor Poirier Part 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they in talks about it, man. Poirier want the fight to happen again, because while McGregor was on the floor right here, he was still talking trash.
He really was.
He was
with a broken leg.
Like, dude, you're done. Like, it's over. And he was literally sitting here talking crazy to him, making death threats to Poirier. So Poirier was like, yo, I'm gonna fight him either way. Either it's gonna be in the ring or on the street. I'm gonna fight him for those comments he made. And Shannon Sharp made a comment today, man, and he said that he's becoming McGregor is becoming like a Ronda Rousey. He's turning into a Ronda Rousey, where in the beginning we were enamored by his skill, his ability. You know, he was talking trash, big draw, winning big fights, and now he's becoming like almost a caricature of himself, because he comes in, he's talking all this trash, and before the fight stopped, like, he was losing. He was actually getting his ass handed to him. Poirier was giving him the business, outboxing him, outclassing him, and it was getting bad anyhow. It was like it was going to get stopped probably in the second round regardless. But to see him like that, and he's still bringing home the bank, because he still get a big draw.
Oh, just his name, yeah. He continue. He's
right.
Even with these L's, he's still arguably the most popular name in that sport. The difference between him and Ronda Rousey is that she went off into the sunset after the GOAT, Amanda Nunes. Ain't nobody beating her. They're gonna have to bring a dude in to beat her.
Yeah, something out. Yeah.
Holly Holmes kick her in the head, knock her the fuck out, and Amanda Nunes beat her ass as well. She just faded off into she went the fake wrestling route. She like, I got to get the fuck up out of here. I'm done.
I'm done. I can't do this no more. Like, and I don't think McGregor is going to do that because he has too much pride. But man, he hasn't been right. He hasn't been right since he lost to Floyd. Like, when Floyd tapped him and beat him in a boxing match, he came back. He fought Cowboy Cerrone. He beat Cowboy. Cowboy's in a bad end of his career right now, so of course he's going to get that dub. But other than that, he hasn't had any impressive fights. He's lost. He's gotten beat. I mean, he's gotten beaten pretty bad by Khabib. So I mean, why would you even? Again, the bag, chasing the bag, is what you're going to get. You're going to get money from it. He's a big draw. They still need him because of his name and because of his antics. But now his antics are starting to outshine his ability in the ring. And I never thought I would see a decline like this in a fighter like him. But he's never evolved. He has the same game plan every single fight, and he hasn't gotten better with that game plan. It used to work because he used to put paws on people. He used to get them really good, stand up fight. And that's why he fought Floyd Mayweather, because he thought he was a really good boxer. But now it's not working for him.
I honestly think, I mean, Conor McGregor, based off of the shit talking, the bravado and all that shit, he's going to be able to make money in the UFC. But I wouldn't be mad if he made the transition over to WWE. I think shit with his disposition and the way he talks shit, I think he would do quite well over there on that side.
I think so. I mean, if the bag is big enough, Conor's going to go get it, man.
Oh, they're going to pay, and they would pay him. Believe you me, they would pay his ass if he go to wrestling route.
They'll pay him.
Conor, sometimes when you win, you lose. And sometimes when you lose, you still win.
What the fucking above the rim shit? I mean, what the fucking white man can't jump is going on here? Yo, what the fuck, Merv? Like, yo. Hey, that's a damn good point now that you think about it, because this dude just broke his leg. I can guarantee you, if Conor was to go to Vince McMahon and say, yo, look, I'm trying to come, Vince McMahon is going to give him the bag. So, like you said, Merv, sometimes when you lose, you win.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. You're right, Merv. Say it again. No, you're right, though.
It's like when I'm right because I could have been wrong, but then I'm right because I could have been right. Right?
Somebody said that shit. Who was that? A Denzel? Who said that shit?
That was a movie, man.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out who the fuck. What movie that was on, man?
Get Rich or Die Trying, when they were leaving the prison.
Right.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard.
You fidgeting again. Come on. You fidgeting.
Where's the money? Tell me where the money at. I'll blow this little motherfucker head off.
Yo, he was a gangster in that movie, real though. He was real.
Shout out to Terrence Howard, man.
Yeah, for real. The co-main event was Thompson and Burns, which I thought was a really good fight. I thought this was a very even fight. I don't know if you guys, again, I'm big into the UFC, big into mixed martial arts, but I thought this was a good fight, man. Disappointed that Thompson lost. You guys know, and Merv, you know my little girl. She's trained by Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's trained by Thompson. That's her in the middle right there. That's Thompson right there. But my little girl, yeah, she'll get you. I got to get it right. The COVID kid, we kind of pulled back a little bit because they out there, no shoes on, no mask, anything on, no mask. We were like, yo, we're gonna relax a little bit, but we'll get you back in. But he trains her, and Thompson is a good fighter, man. He called out what's the dude name? I can't pronounce his name. I never can pronounce it.
The Nigerian cat?
Yes, he called him out before this fight, but he lost to Burns in a decision, round 3. I don't think he's ready for that guy, man, because Burns is a technical fighter, and Burns he would take it down. And I think that's what he got the best of Thompson, man, in that fight. And Steven is a good guy, man. Like, it's both of these guys, Burns and Steven, they're both good guys, man. You always want to see guys at this fight and do it the right way. And Gilbert Burns is a class act. Stephen Thompson is definitely a class act. I'm not saying that because we support him in the household, but he's really a class act, man. Unlike you see some of these guys who out there, they get out of control, like McGregor, and these guys are just pure for the sport, man. So it's hard to see, a fight like that because you kind of rooting for both of them. And for to end that way in the decision, it was a really good fight, man. So yeah, salute to Stephen Thompson, man. Ryan will be back soon, but salute to that guy, man. He's still out there fighting, still doing his thing. Very good with the kids, man. Very good guy, man. It's just hard to see him lose like that, though.
True.
Indeed. So, man, Merv, you just dropped a bombshell on us, man. Stacks, you got that cue up by any chance? Merv just got. I'll come back to it. So, Merv, I'm going to go to you real quick, man. Man, the USA, man. I know it's an exhibition game. But
this is supposed to be an exhibition.
It's supposed to be an exhibition.
All right.
Yo, man, but they lost to Nigeria, man. Do you look at that as a problem, or you think that just whatever?
I look at it as both. I look at it as both because I still see USA winning the gold, so I'm still confident they'll win the gold. So that may be where the this whole main thing when medal time come. But then I look at it as maybe a problem because if that is the case and they win gold, then that means they shouldn't have lost to the fucking exhibition, which means they wasn't giving their fucking all, which is a problem in itself, as far as like pride or the mental aspect. If they just took the shit off and then lost, and then but they end up winning the gold. So that's why I say it could be both because like just if that's the case, man, that's whack. Like even an exhibition, an exhibition. If I have the ability and my team has the ability. Yo, I'm trying to destroy niggas. Like, I'm trying to destroy fuckers. Like, I don't care if it's an exhibition. I'm Ivan Drago. I ain't trying to kill you for real, but we trying to blow this fucking team out. Right. And let the whole world know we coming, and we doing that. We missing three of our players. They ain't even get here yet. Just to let y'all know is what this is shit that we on.
Right.
So
I have my take on it. I think it's devastating. Not saying that they're not going to win the gold. They're still favored to win the gold, but I remember years back. Y'all remember when the United States lost to Puerto Rico in an exhibition game? I think it was It might have been 2008, but I was in the building. That game was actually in Germany. I just happened. They got us some tickets. When I was in Germany, they got us the free tickets. They gave troops priority. We went to the game, so we expected to see a show, and we got a game. And like, damn, like this is actually a game.
Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Yo. Yeah.
When the Puerto Ricans started showing that it was going to be a game late, y'all know how that works. The crowd always turns on the favorite.
Yep.
And we're just sitting there shocked, like there's no way. Like, okay, they're not going to lose the game, but this is a little bit too close. But I remember just being dejected, after they lost, and there was a lot of stuff going on Saturday night, so it was kind of in the background as far as the shadows and stuff like that. But I noticed that motherfucker when it came to my phone, and no matter the venue, no matter the occasion, when the U.S. national team loses, it's going to make news, and I don't give a damn if it was just the exhibition. It's newsworthy. It's a first African nation to beat a U.S. basketball team, and I think those brothers will still win the gold, but this is a bad look right here, definitely in my opinion.
I agree. The majority of those guys on the Nigerian team, those guys are like second and third stringers, honestly, in the NBA. A lot of them wouldn't even make the NBA roster, but they went out there, they shot lights out from the 3-point line. You got to repeat that again if you're going to play against any team. But the fact that you guys mentioned, I think the score like 90-87. I mean, you only scored 87 points, and you have all that firepower. You have Dame Dollar, you have KD, you have Beal. That's 90 points between them.
Right. Easy.
Easy.
And you got JT on there too, Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I mean, so it's unfortunate. Hopefully it doesn't linger into the tournament itself.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. You're right, Murph. You're right. I think, you got to think about this, man. If TJ's still listening, he's not going to like this because he had to talk about this earlier today that he wanted to debate us with. Well, if you look at the different eras of basketball IQ in the 90s, 80s, they didn't have the athleticism that these guys have now, that these guys can get away with. They had high IQ. They had to use what they had, and they played smart basketball. The USA Dream Team were blowing teams up by 40 and 50 points.
Right.
40 and 50 points, toying with them easily, dismantling teams like it was nothing. It wasn't even close for the jump, right? But since then, these teams have struggled, even with the talent that we have on the roster from USA, and they're talented. Athletes out of this world can shoot the ball out the gym. But their demeanor and their IQ is like very average in comparison to their skill set.
Well, not only that, Shawn. I mean, nobody wants to face the facts that the rest of the world has caught. I wouldn't say they haven't caught up all the way with the United States, but the world has gotten better. The world at large has gotten better because if you look at it, you look at the top 5 players that's in the league. One of my homeboys made this point today. You got the Joker, you got Embiid, you got Luka. Greek Freak.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the top guys in the NBA today, and a lot of them are foreign. I just think that international players evolved over the years, and they haven't. I mean, they ain't beating the United States on a consistent basis. But I think there's not going to. You're not going to the days of the 30 point, maybe even 20 point blowout. I mean, depending on who they play, they're gonna play some lesser nations with no NBA stars. And you're going to see a couple of those. But when it gets down to when group play is over and it's just knockout round and they just playing in the tournament, I mean, that semifinal and that gold medal game, provided Lord willing they make it, it ain't going to be easy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They've caught, the other countries have caught up. But USA still shouldn't be losing because they've caught up. They've caught up talent wise. Where they got players that could come over and be superstars. So they've caught up far as like individual talent superstars that come over and shine, but as far as a group, for the whole country from top to bottom, they haven't caught up yet. So that's why it still shouldn't be. It should at least still be 15 or 20-point wins,
right?
Because you're not gonna find a lot of Lucas on that whole team.
No,
but you're gonna find a bunch of Kevin Durant type players on USA on the whole fucking team.
I got you.
So you got several superstars in the USA team. Against the other teams, you have like maybe 2 or 3 superstars that can play. So when you got 12 that you could run at them, it still shouldn't be a contest. Now, but like y'all said though, the IQ, and I feel the other countries works on their fundamentals.
Absolutely, fundamentals. Yep,
absolutely.
And that's why they be struggling. It has nothing to do with the evolve of the talent. In my opinion, it's the evolve of them studying what we used to study, for the basics, the triple threat, the mid-range jumper, and their basketball IQ. Now, their basketball IQ has definitely caught up to us, because it almost seems like we have dumbed down, because like our basketball is almost the best shooting team wins. It's not a lot of offense being run a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think Phoenix is going to win, because Phoenix get their IQ and they run an offense.
Right.
So that's the problem with the USA team versus the world.
I think the world is smart in that aspect, because, I mean, in order to combat that, you're not going to get the athleticism in any of the other countries in the world. In order to combat that, you got to play smart, fundamentally sound, high IQ basketball. I think that closes that gap.
It does.
As far as playing against a bunch of athletes. So that's a very excellent point. That's why I think we'll still have a tough game against Spain if we see them. Those cats in Yugoslavia usually give us a tough game and shit like that. The French, they typically, give us a game. I mean, not to a point where we got to be caught slipping and them give us a fundamentally sound game in order for them to have a chance of beating us. But I think the U.S. need to. I think silver lining, the Nigerian loss. The loss to Nigeria may serve as a wake-up call. At least I hope so.
But to Murray's point, I think when you don't focus on the fundamentals of basketball, you focus more so on your athleticism, and you go against a team that's really fundamentally sound because they may not be as athletic. That's where you run into a problem, because when a team is disciplined and a team knows what they're doing on that court, when it comes down to just passing the ball, making the right passes, that extra pass, it changes a lot of things. Like for me, again, I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm out here Jordan people on the court. I'm 41 years old, and I play ball 3 to 4 times a week against kids half my age, literally. And because I'm so fundamentally sound, they can't do nothing with me. They can't take me off the dribble. They can't bat me down. I'm scoring on them. I'm getting rebounds over them because I'm doing the very simple things. I'm boxing you out. I'm playing sound defense. My ass on the ground, my head up, fundamental stuff that I may not have no more from my athleticism days when I was an athlete, when I could freaking jump out the gym and block your shot with ease. Now I have to time those blocks. I have to time when I'm going to jump because I know the point of your shot. I know you're going to bring the ball from here. So I had to time all the day. I got to think more. But I say that because you got these kids now that's coming through who's not in the NBA, like Giannis. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Giannis can make 2 moves from the 3-point line and find his way to the goal. How many people from the 90s can honestly say they could do that? Where they could make 2 moves from the 3-point line and be able to make the layup. That is ridiculous because now they got the Euro step. Everybody can do it. And Giannis so long, he can take a large Euro step just to get to the goal and make the layup.
Or dunk it.
and dunk it with ease. So now you got players out there like this player right here. Dude took off. He took off in the dotted line.
He did.
You know what I mean? PJ Tucker tried to take a charge Dude took off a dotted line and dunked
Bad
on
business decision. Bad business decision on
it. You know what I'm
TJ.
saying? It wasn't the right decision. I just don't think he played it right. He just didn't know he was going to dunk on him. But that shows you how athletic he is. If you look at Giannis, and Merv mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Giannis scored 42 and 41 points back-to-back games. No three-pointers, fellas. This is straight raw two and ones, free throw line and field goals. That tells you how he's not fundamentally sound. He's not going to give you a bunch of mid-range.
I was just about to say that. The nigga has no moves.
Right.
I saw
none.
I saw Giannis pretty much went baseline and pretty much pushed fucking DeAndre Ayton out the way like he was fucking 5'2" and just dunked the ball. I'm like, my goodness.
Right.
And he's for. I mean, he is playing championship ball. He simply is. I mean, I guess Phoenix's only hope is that Middleton will have a off game because he's up and down. And Drew Holiday, was playing trash last night till around midway through the third quarter or whatever. But if I was Monty Williams, I'd be like, hey, yo, Giannis go get us. We just gotta make sure all these other motherfuckers don't beat us.
Right. Don't let Giannis beat us. He's averaging 40 points. I told y'all last week. I'm like, dude, he averaged 40 points in the regular season against them. He's going to do it again.
Now, Shawn, I think the thing is, I don't think they can stop Giannis, but I think they should focus on not letting Middleton beat him. Bobby Portis, he came up. Well, Drew, you know what? Drew been kind of up and down. Drew ain't really did nothing until like last night. But they gotta neutralize. Drew Holiday. They gotta neutralize. They gotta try to neutralize Middleton. And I don't think it's a tall task for Phoenix. I know that Milwaukee has to win game 4 in my opinion. But Book ain't gonna have another 10-point game in these finals. So those things you gotta
he went 3
in.
of 14. He went 3 of 14.
Yeah.
Like Phoenix played like that was their worst. That might have been their worst game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with that being said, in the third quarter,
that's right,
at the 3-minute mark, they was down by like 5 points.
It was 4. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like they played horrible collectively, and the third quarter was in a position where they could possibly take the lead and win. I got Phoenix winning in 6.
Wow.
Oh shit.
I'm leaning that way too. I don't think Phoenix lose game 5. I think they win game 5. I think Milwaukee come back and win game 6, and I think that's it for them. Honestly, Phoenix makes really good adjustments after a loss. They make the adjustments that's needed to win the game. And like Merv said, although the score was a 20-point blowout, that score does not reflect what happened in the course of that game. That game could have tilted any kind of way. I know they took Devin Booker out. You shoot. If he's a shooter, you gotta let him shoot out. Let him shoot it out. Don't pull him. Let him shoot it. But they pulled him out. They thought the game was out of reach by that time, and he wasn't playing really well, and they pulled him. That's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen next game.
Right.
So Merv say 6. What you got, Stacks?
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go this route, man. I think the Suns will win, man. I don't know if I'm saying this because I hope for a 7-game series, but I got the Suns in 7.
Ooh. I'm hoping they don't win at all, but I think it's a wrap, fellas. I really do. I think they're done. So guys, we're going to get ready to get into our main topic, but we have a couple more things we want to dive into. I want to go into what we call a rapid fire. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the ESPYs over the weekend, but I wanted to pay homage to just some of the things that were actually highlighted for the ESPYs. And I just want to give y'all just kind of idea what that looked like. So everyone who won, for the most part, Tom Brady won Male Athlete of the Year.
The GOAT. Sorry, Merv.
If he was in San Fran, just imagine. But fuck you. man. I'm just saying.
Hey, man, you gotta let go of that Joe Montana shit, man. Tom Brady the GOAT, bro.
Let it go, man. Montana's the GOAT, man.
And that nigga got all them scandals, motherfucker cheaters waited to him shit.
Yo,
Hear all that shit. Yeah, the game is different. The game is different now, nigga. Montana 4-0.
I hear the violins, man. I hear the violins in the background.
I'm sorry, man. He's the GOAT, man.
Hey, no, hold up. Go back to hold up before we leave Tom Brady.
Okay.
Now this may we may end up talking about this, but so about 5 years ago, LeBron made a statement, and I think Tom Brady was either they was talking at the barbershop or something, and it came back up. It was brought back up recently. Mm-hmm. So LeBron says that no football player could be the best athlete, whether you're talking about the GOAT, whether you're talking about this year or currently, because they don't play two-way. They don't play offense and defense. They only play one way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what would y'all think about that?
You mean you must mean over all of sports, because I mean you're gonna have a GOAT in each sport. What is it in the context of?
We talking about like what did Tom Brady win?
The best player of the year, like in sports.
In football or all sports?
All sports.
Oh shit!
That was all sports. So that's what made me think of it. LeBron James says that no football player should win best athlete over other sports, whether you're talking about historically, GOAT-wise, current year, or anything, because they don't play two ways.
As usual, he creates a narrative.
He does. Probably because he wanted to win. It's hard to say that, man, because you have to be a dominating player in the NFL to get that kind of accolade, no matter if it's on defense or offense. Quarterbacks are typically the most important player on the team. The team goes as great as their quarterback is in most cases. Not all cases, but most cases. I think I kind of lean towards, if you're that nice, you can be that in the NFL. Bo Jackson had the potential to be the best player in the NFL, hands down, offense or defense. No one was better than him regardless. No matter where he played, he was just that great. Tom Brady's accolades, it overshadows anyone who plays offense or defense because of his accolades. Now, as far as him being an athlete, Merv, I wouldn't say that, because we know Brady was never.
Well, so hold on. So don't get caught up in the name. I'm talking more of I'm talking about sports. I knew Tom Brady made me think of it, but so don't get caught up in just Tom Brady. Just does a football player deserve it? Basically, LeBron is saying, granted, it was Tom Brady involved, but LeBron said in general, a football player only plays one way.
Let me tell you why.
How can it be considered more athletic or the better athlete over an NBA basketball player or et cetera, et cetera? Because in baseball, you play both ways. So
right.
He's trying to say that a football player shouldn't be able to, you can't put them above or have them the best athlete because they only play one way.
Here's why I disagree with LeBron and his narrative creating bullshit that he always does. Because football players typically do not play both ways. We know this. But you have a fair argument. I think Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice have I think Jerry Rice can accept if NFL players played both ways. We know Deion would be that guy that could play on both sides of the ball. He would excel if he played offense. It just so happens that he's one of the best DBs of all time. The dude just shut down. He changed the way that he coaches game plan towards him and him only in a lot of games. Jerry Rice is arguably one of the best football players of all time, but with LeBron's argument, he only played receiver. Who said that Jerry Rice, with his athleticism, his workout, Jerry Rice was known for having one of the most insane workout regimens when he was in the league. So it's not far-fetched for me to say that Jerry Rice can play on the other side of the ball. It just so happens NFL players don't. So, I mean, Lawrence Taylor as well. Like, you had guys that were just dominant at their position, but all they got to do was play their position. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of those guys would excel on the other side of the ball. That's why I think it's a short-sighted argument from LeBron, because you're not going to tell me that only hockey players and only baseball players and basketball players are world class. I mean, or have the athleticism, because I mean, it's just the way the sport is set up. I think it's a BS argument, because those are just a couple of players that I think in the NFL that could have excelled playing both sides of the ball to showcase their athleticism on the defensive side and offensive side, or vice versa.
To that point, Stacks, if that's the argument, then you might have said the same thing for the NBA and any team sport. Because in the NBA, although you can have one player that dominates, we saw Jordan do it for years, he still has some form of help to win a championship. If you want to take that logic into it, you got to look at boxing, look at MMA. That's mano a mano. That's man against man, a woman against woman. So they should be considered really the true athlete, because they're not leaning on anybody but themselves in that side.
Right.
And their trainers, of course, but they're the ones who's doing the dirty work, if you want to use that logic. To answer the question, I think that any sports athlete in any sport, no matter football, baseball, whatever the case may be, if they are that great, they have an opportunity to be the best or the GOAT in that arena, or the male athlete of the year, or whatever the case may be. That is my opinion on
it. And Marc, really quick before I forget this, you got two players, I've named one and Shawn named one, that really have a bet that has a pretty good argument as far as being the best athlete of all time. Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. They did it in the NFL. Hell, Deion Sanders played in the Super Bowl and a fucking World Series. He was a great baseball player as well as a football player. So, I mean, until LeBron come to the NFL and start catching passes and shit like that, I think he'd be pretty decent. But, I mean, one hit stick and he'd act like he dead. Coming across the middle or whatever. But, I mean, you have, those are my two guys. Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders in particular, bro. Deion Sanders was fucking different. He was just a different cat.
Yep. Marc, what do you say? You was a football player. What do you say?
Oh, I think it's to complete and utterly bullshit. from that argument that goddamn LeBron trying to make. Like I said, it's a narrative kind of shit. And Tom Brady had a great response. He said, nope, I might not play both ways, but I'm pretty fucking good at the thing that I'm supposed to do.
Right.
That's great.
Throw fucking passes, throw touchdowns, and win. So just because I don't play fucking defense, don't make me a lower athlete compared to basketball. So and that was the Tom Brady response. So yeah, it's like I feel it's like one of them narrative kind of shit that LeBron like to throw out there subliminally.
Oh yeah,
right, man. And Marc, another thing is because he got to take away. Tom Brady has won 7 fucking Super Bowls. What do you got? Like 10 appearances and shit like that. He probably it's like they got this running joke saying if there was no such thing as the Mannings, he'd probably have 10 fucking Super Bowl rings. But with that being said, Tom Brady got 7 rings. Michael Jordan got 6 rings, and he creates stuff because he know that his ring argument, that's going to be a knock against him because he's 4-6 in the finals. Now, I'm not saying that LeBron's not going to win any more championships, but he will create a narrative to try to make his argument better for to be in the. I can guarantee it's because maybe I'm the best. He probably thinking maybe I'm the best athlete of all time, and I don't even want to go into that LeBron bag tonight. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
It's bullshit though. Like, I'll take somebody that haven't won a ring. You gonna try to have you not seen fucking Michael Vick in a fucking pocket with 6 motherfuckers trying to sack him, and you make all 6 of these motherfuckers look stupid, and then you gotta duck motherfuckers, outquick them, then at the split second you gotta square up and throw a motherfucking pass and be accurate while you got 8. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
It's just bullshit, man.
04 Mike Vick, forget about it. Fucking forget about it, bro.
Right. Or even Barry Sanders.
Right.
running behind that daggone Lions offensive line. So I mean, you're right, Merv. It's one of those things where you got to be able to you play football, man. You play safety in college, and that's not an easy position to play. Period. And
No.
we've seen some great safeties in our day. I mean, there are a lot of those guys out there. Even at that position, you mean to tell me some of the greatest safeties we've seen, like the Ed Reeds of the world? You mean to say that person should not be one of the greatest of all time in that sport, or one of the best at that time? That's crazy. So again, that's LeBron narrative. Him trying to create the narrative, not realizing football sport is totally different. Football is a true contact sport. People get their head knocked off the block every other play and got to get back up and keep the senses in their head to play football to get through. I mean, people are running like a 4.2, 4.3 on average in the NFL. It's harder to make the NFL than it is in the NBA. Let's be honest. And it's not easy. So that's his narrative, man. That's what he do, man. So I don't know. I don't like that guy. I really don't like that guy. But anyhow, rapid fire, man. Breonna Stewart from Seattle Storm.
Baller.
You know, I don't think there's no shock here, right? I don't think there's no shock here.
Hey, look here, man. Stewie can ball, bro.
Yeah. I don't care what nobody say. You can hate all you want. Stewart is a baller. All right. This young lady, man.
This gave me life. This gave me fucking life, bro.
Man, somebody invite her to the cookout, man. Give her 2 helpings of salad, man.
2 pieces of biscuit. Paige Bukers. AKA Paige Buckets. That's what I call her.
Paige Buckets, man. Paige Buckets. Yo, this young lady, man, her speech was really compelling, man, at the ESPYs. I think people was caught off guard by the speech because I don't think they saw it coming. Mm-hmm. But just the fact that it was organic and she was really genuine about it in her approach. Definitely, we need to see more of this, right? Because you get a platform like that, and I think it's like 18 to 19. You got to tip your hat to her family, man. Tip her hat to her parents. I'm sure she learned it from somewhere. She got that gravitas from somebody. So tip your hat to that family, man. And tip your hat to her for being that brave to be able to get on stage and not make it about her at the time.
Right. When it was totally about her. Yeah.
Totally about her. And to be that young to be able to go up there, man, and just really, really do a good job with that speech, man. That was a movie.
And Shawn, it takes guts to go out there and just say, hey, I know I won this award, but you know, the highlight is not enough on Black women in sports in general. For her to pull out numbers and stuff like that during her speech, bruh. And Merv, as you know it, her you got a lot of her folks. Well, I wouldn't say her folks because they're not her folks because they're shitty fucking racist people that are coming at her neck on social media. You know, I guess trying to throw, hey, Paige, we welcome you with open arms to the fucking cookout because that was good shit. That was good shit.
Absolutely.
Not to mention she's a fucking baller. I just put that out there. She is a hooper.
Definitely. LaMelo, man. LaMelo came through and best breakthrough athlete. I'm glad that he's young didn't get it. But LaMelo definitely got it, man. Hey, look, he deserved it. I think Melo was the right pick for that. So that was a good look.
I don't think so.
Continuing to our rapid fire. Shout out to Drizzy, man. Drizzy pulled a Merv on us, man. Drizzy had
that is Merv type shit. That is Merv level type shit right there now.
Bro, the crazy thing about this, man, is the fact that he took the kid's mom to the Dodger Stadium and had brunch. Meek Mill out here getting tickled into oblivion while Drake is having
giving kids $20 to split up and shit.
Right. And Drake is out here having brunch with someone's mom, man. Drake is extra, man. Drake is a legend. He need to
and Marc probably fully support that shit though.
Of course.
Oh, that Drake shit? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
can you not respect that though?
You gotta respect that.
Oh, I love it. I just know Merv love it a whole lot more than we do.
Right. I mean, you're gonna casually have a brunch in the Dodger Stadium, with Bronny's best friend mom. Like, come on, man. Drake is a legend. They're gonna have to start respecting Drake at some point. At some point, we have to start having that tough conversation if Drake is one of the GOATs. We're gonna have to start having that conversation really soon.
Hey, but Shawn, though, here's a bad part about this. This is just a chick he took out, right?
Yeah.
If he don't marry her, huh?
Yeah, it was a regular date.
I got you, but if he don't marry her, like, how could you come and date? Huh? How you gonna come behind? What you say now?
What the next nigga gonna do?
Exactly. Like, how the fuck? Right. How the fuck do you take? How do you take her on a date after this if you somebody else? Like, how? Like, she's ruined. Like, you gotta marry her now, Drake. Cause she's done.
She's done. Who's gonna top that? Nobody's gonna try that. Like, you literally, it's something. If Merv had Drake money, this is something that Merv would do.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Without question.
Easy.
Rent out Dodger Stadium. Hey, let's have brunch. And that's that. Like, come on, man. And Meek Mill out here getting tickled into tickle me elbow purgatory, and Drake is out here having brunch. Like, come on, man. Philly, stand up, bro. Stand up, Philly. But man, shout out to Drake, man. Shout out to Drake, man. Drizzy, man. Can't wait for that album to come out. We also had some more news, man. These brothers, man. Carl Thomas, Donnell Jones, and Dave Hollister, man. Stacks. I know this is probably more in your bag right here. These brothers first came up with a group called the Shy, and they're coming out with an album, man. All great singers. A+ singers.
When I saw this, I got excited. Cause it's gonna be something special. I'm gonna be right there waiting in the wing when it come out, bro. Oh, yeah. Hey, Dave Hollister, Carl Thomas, Donnell, bruh. I can't wait, bro. I don't know when they're gonna. I'm waiting for them to drop some shit. Maybe go on tour and shit. Like, I can't wait, bro. I'm excited.
That's gonna be special, man. That's gonna be special. Go ahead, Merv. Oh, you had something, Merv?
Yeah, that's I'm real interested to see how they put that shit together. Like all the brothers can sing. I believe out that crew, I'm a Dave Hollister fan over the others. I fucks with Dave. But it'll be interesting to see how they mesh together.
Yeah.
Because you got because you have LSG did it.
TGT,
Tank, Tyrese, and
Genuine.
Yeah. They tried it. I'm
short-lived.
I'm short-lived. Successful.
Genuine tried to sing on coming to what is the morning coming Wake Up America show. Like he wasn't gonna make it. Yo, but yeah.
Really interesting to see. I can't wait to hear it.
Absolutely. We had new music from one of our guys, man. Styles P had a new album came out over the weekend called Ghosting. Pretty solid album, man. Anytime you got Styles P, you're gonna get bars, you're gonna get great rap, you're gonna get good stories, you're gonna get that ghost, man, that P ghost. So shout out to Styles P for another great album. We also had, you got to check it. It's a pretty good album, man. If you're a Locks fan, if you love Styles, that's the album for you. Something that came across the wire, I was very disappointed in. It's not even funny, man. I'm actually worried because I had to do some research on this before I even put this one up. But Juvie decided to make a song, or remake his hit song, Back That Thing Up, called Backs That Thing Up. Very disappointed. They gave him a big. I'm sure they gave him a big bag for this. I'm sure. He has Mia X on here, which no one cares to hear from, but he has Mia X on his joint, and it was for an actual, I think, the BLK app. It's like a black singles dating app, and they kind of did it for that. It threw me off. I heard the song. I tried to understand it. I get it, but it was kind of corny. I don't know if y'all had a chance to listen to it.
Yeah, I touched on this Wednesday a little bit. I get the concept. Of course, it's. I think this is aimed at the black community because there's a lot of vaccine hesitancy in the black community, and especially in the South. We got the vaccine rates are really, really down in the southern states. Coincidentally, that's where you're getting all these spikes with this new Delta variant out there. I am actually sick of hearing about the vaccine. And this is probably huge coming from me because I think at this point, but Marc, let me tell you why. Though. I think at this point, I think people have already made a decision. It's free. It's been free for a while. When they did the rollout, they like upped the age. Like it was decided. I don't know if you remember when they first rolled out the vaccine. They were saying that most of the United States it won't be available to most people until July. Here we are in July, and I think it's been about 2-3 months. Where 12 and up was able to get their shot. So, shot or shots, because you got the Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer. I think it's to the point now where they're literally trying to scare people into getting the vaccine. Where I think things like that just makes people more defiant. Yeah. And I'm at the point now where, this is going to sound a little bit selfish, like because they said something today, like you need to realize if you get the vaccine, you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting other people. I don't know if y'all we've been living in this country over the last year. We've got a good look at ourselves these last 4 or 5 years on how, we feel about each other. I don't think Americans are really inclined. They don't give a fuck about their fellow man like they used to. The only thing that really brings this country together is when, there's some type of terrorist attack, in my opinion. So I just say live and let live. Who's going to get the vaccine? Let them get it. If you're not getting the vaccine, it is at this point, it is what it is. Yeah,
I'm disappointed in the direction that Juvie went. He got the bag. The lyrics were subpar.
Subpar. That's borderline. You giving it too much credit
because the message within itself is to get vaccinated. So you got to kind of give it a check mark for that. But he said, you a handsome young brother. Once you back that thing up. I was taken aback by that, and that's what made me research it and realize that it was aimed at the BLK because BLK, I think they sponsored it. So that's the black dating site, singles dating site. And I guess he's saying, yo, you a handsome young brother. Before you go out there and mingle, just backs up. So I guess I don't know Mia X's reason for being on the song. I don't get that part of it. But you took a classic that we had. You took it from us. You took it from us. I don't think I would ever listen to that song again the way I normally used to listen to that song.
It might start playing in the clubs now.
I think they will. If they haven't done so already. I would not be partaking in any events in any club to understand and know that. So, hey, more power to you, Juvie. I guess get the bag. I guess everybody backs that thing up. So, damn, cultural appropriation is killing us right now. Your fellas, let's hit one more last thing, man. Let's get into our main topic so we can kill this thing and close it on out the right way. So over the weekend, I don't know if you guys had a chance, but this is not a spoiler for those of you who are Marvel fans. This is not a spoiler for you guys. We just want to pay homage to the fact that Marvel has done it again. The Black Widow movie came out over the weekend, did major numbers. Marvel broke more records. I think this was the highest grossing film since the pandemic.
Yep.
I don't think people were expecting for Marvel to come out the gate again with another successful output. But again, Marvel has never disappointed us thus far. They have always cranked out good material and sell the material. Again, this is no spoilers. We're not going to give away the story or anything like that. But again, Go out there and support Black Widow. Came out on Friday. It's on Disney Plus, and it's also in the movie theaters. If you're so inclined to go to the movie theaters and partake, please do it safely. But you can also watch it in the comfort of your own home if you have Disney Plus for $30, which is something that I would do. I would pop some popcorn and $30, and some people may have Fire Sticks. Marvel, we are not condoning that, but people out there, dirtbags out there, still got Fire Sticks that they're going to use it for that purpose. So shout out to Marvel for another round of knocking DC across the head and showing that it doesn't matter what movie you put out. It's going to be successful.
Right.
No one. Oh, we're not Timothy. We're not spoiling it. Trust me.
Not at all. We're not talking about. I haven't even seen it yet. I wouldn't be able to spoil it.
We haven't even seen it. We just giving a salute to Marvel for another groundbreaking, breaking another record. So that's our biggest thing right now. It's a salute to Marvel. Right. So again, go check it out. Merv, I'm gonna flip it to you, man. You had the thought process behind tonight's main topic that we're going to get into, and that's something that I want you to tee us up, man.
Cool. Man, I'll tell you, nigga. I'll tell you where the idea came from, man. And, it kind of came from God, because no, I ain't about to get religious now, so chill.
Yeah.
But listen, it kind of came from God, because when I was cutting this motherfucking grass this Saturday, when it felt like 110 degrees, for me to get by, besides drinking water, I had to go to Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood album, DMX. Like, I had to put that in my headphones and just put it on that album and put it on repeat, which the heat from the damn sun made me go to that album to survive. And then while I'm listening, like, damn, it made me thinking back about one semester in particular in college. And I was like, I started like, damn, I started thinking about other albums, like, damn, there's some albums that shit kind of just describe my damn life and shit, or like my feeling, like maybe some experiences in my combination from experiences in my life to the way I felt in my life. And it was like, yo, that's why I hit y'all, like, if you had to name at least three albums that would describe your life, would you be able to do it? And what albums would those be? And that's where the shit came from. Just me thinking like, yo, I had to go to DMX to listen, and that shit put me back in a moment, like about 20 years ago. I'm like, and I thought about that whole fucking year of everything that happened, and that's what that album sent me back to, and that's what made me start brainstorming. Like, yo, I wonder if we could talk about at least three albums. It could be more, but at least three albums. And you think back and you look at those albums, they kind of really describe your life, from like childhood, not maybe, let's say maybe about 14, 15 type thing, until now. And it was cool. Can we expound on it and tell how does it relate, or how relate, make those albums relatable to who Shawn is, or what Shawn experienced, who Stax is, what Stax experienced. And that's where the idea came from.
I like that. When you messaged me, I think it was last night.
That.
I think, was it last night or Saturday night? You messaged me. I think it was last night.
It could have been last night, but the shit came Saturday when that goddamn heat index.
Yeah. When you hit me up with that, I was like, damn, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. Shout out to Blast Music Group, man. I was talking to.
Oh yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, for real. I was talking to one of the guys there, and I told him, he was asking me about the creativity. So Blast, if you're watching, that was a small sample size of the creative juices. That's just a small sample size of what goes on in these guys' head when we're putting together, when we're orchestrating things. Like, it's come out of the blue like that. So, yo,
yeah, Merv usually don't miss. Let him know that as well, man. This motherfucker don't really miss.
It's like in Charles Manson was known for that too, just to come up with wild things. So, but that's
really good analogy.
That's a small. Hey, he is watching, so that's just a small piece, man. That's a small piece, man, about the creative juices, man. But Marc, please carry on. Since this is your topic, let's go with your first album, man, that you selected.
My first album, and I peeled some more. I added some more layers of thought process when I picked my album. I'm not sure what made y'all choose y'all, but I went with albums that if I had that lyrical ability to be in the studio and hear beats, is it far-fetched that I would write the same song? So that's what I use as part of my formula on the albums I chose. That have either similar thoughts or similar experiences where, I can see myself writing that very fucking song. It's almost like if that nigga had the ability to jump in my head, I'll jump in that nigga head. That's what the fuck I would put. If I had that nigga voice or that's what I would do. That shit, I would write that shit. So that was what I took into mind. So my first one is Life After Death.
Okay.
By Biggie Smalls.
Classic.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like sometimes I feel like my goddamn mentally my life is complex because I'm always thinking about shit. I'm always thinking about damn scenarios. So I'm like, I need a double album. A nigga needed a double album, man. And I got some songs like so like I said, this is the first one that I picked. So I'm thinking like my age between like 15 to 25 in that era of my life, right? So during that time, so first song I wrote down is I'm Fucking You Tonight.
Of course.
What? During that time?
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? 16 and 25, you're trying to get your rocks off. You're trying to find out the color of down there. But I love the dough with Biggie and Jay-Z. My dad had his own business. He had a gas station. My mom had her own business. She had a laundromat. So I think that's when Jay-Z was said being broke is childish. I'm quite grown. Ain't that song?
Yeah.
Ain't that showing that? So that's what I Love the Dough came from, man. I was just like, I got a family of go-getters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, Tim. You're right, Tim. You're right. I
got family go-getters, and so like my brother got his own business, my sister got her own business. So it's just that song talks about how they going after the money, how they talk about being go-getters. So that right there, then and then Missing You, the song about Missing You, that actually jumped to when I was 38. Because this album actually can describe me from 16 till now. Because like on the song Missing You, he talks about losing one of his partners to a crime incident that he was real close to. It was like damn, their brother lost a brother, the mother lost a son, and then like my nephew got killed. And every time I hear that part, I'm thinking about how my sister lost her son. My nephew lost his brother. So that's what I'm Missing You. Some lyrics on there that really resonates with me that I felt zen, but now when I hear that shit, it's like, yo, I could have wrote that shit. Sky's the limit. Like my mom and dad always preach that shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like failing wasn't an option. You know what I mean? It's like goals are already set. The bar's already been set. This is what you need to follow behind. We have shit success. We have shit set up for you. Sky's the limit. Just follow your plan. And just go out there and get it. Then so I wrote some songs down that are from there that really stuck out, and I felt like if I had that ability and I sat down, Puff sent me a beat, and I would have wrote that same shit because I felt that. So I just jotted some songs down because I know all three of us need to talk about it. But there's like several other songs off the album, but I just wrote some songs that gave different categories. You know what I'm saying? The Fucking You Tonight, then I Love the Dough, then Missing You, then Sky's the Limit. And you know, back when I was kind of savagey and didn't give a fuck about shit, like I was way back in my way back. So like the song, I Got a Story to Tell. Mm-hmm. I've been to some houses that I shouldn't have been in.
Of course, of course. Your average, whorehouse. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
red lights.
Red lights.
Washy, as Marc would say.
Washy.
Wrong person coming home. Is some guns getting pulled out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So So that was my first one. Life After Death, and those are some songs that describe my feelings and my life and some of my upbringing and shit that I've experienced.
Okay, that's a good one, man. That's good introspective as well. Stacks, let's go to you real quick, man, while I try to work some magic behind the scenes. What would be your first one, bro?
We'll keep it in the spirit. Keep it in the spirit of the late great Christopher Wallace, aka Frank White, aka the Notorious B.I.G. My first album is going to be Ready to Die, and there's several reasons why I chose this album. I'm not going to go down a track list, but this what are the name of this album? What are the names? Is he everyday? Opening bars. I know how it feels to wake up fucked up. My pockets broke as hell. Another rock to sell now. I never was dope boy, anything like that. But I do remember that struggle. The first house me and my family lived in was a 2-room shack on E Street, just off of E Ave in Georgetown. 4 kids, 2 bedrooms, hardworking parents, a steel worker. Got my mother, she's a housekeeper working at hotels on the beach, trying to get that paper. With just enough money. I mean, they was making it, to take care of their kids. And as far as the rocks and stuff like that, as I stated before, we grew up on the side of town where, in the middle of the drug trade, you playing ball and shit, the ball going to water, you see the crack vials, in the streets, in the puddle and shit like that. And which really gives you like a blue collar mentality, like say, give me the loot. I was never one of the type that really wanted to ask. I saw my parents go to work every day, so from that young age I learned, as soon as I'm able to work, started off cutting grass and shit like that, but as soon as I'm able to work, I'm gonna go ahead and get the job. My cousin put me and one of my homeboys at the age of 14. We were out there washing dishes at a damn country club, making money under the table. $200 to $300 every 2 weeks is good money for a kid at the age of 14. So just that grinders mentality, always trying to get better. We was able to move a couple of times until we eventually, our pops, eventually, bought a house, that my mother still lives in today. God rest my pop's soul. God rest my pop's soul. You got Juicy, like where you just, you done went through the grind. you know, and now you starting to see the fruits of your labor and shit like that. You know, you starting to come up. You know, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. Now, my thing is that kind of goes right back from, you know, thinking back on my one room shack with my mama Pepper act with Minx on her back. Now we talking about, you know, got the PS5, Xbox Series X. So it's kind of like that maturation, you know, where you're going from one, you're going down to being down in the dumps till you kind of made it. Regardless of the struggle and everything you went through, you know, you made it out, and that struggle only makes you tougher. That's all it does. So and you got respect and things of that nature. And I mean, like the song says, I done made it through the struggle, made something of myself. You know, my family done came up. You gotta respect us now. You know what I'm saying? We got it out the mud. And I'm not gonna go on anymore because I think that's basically it as far as why I chose Ready to Die. Shout out Dory Hill, Rico, you right.
That's very good introspective as well, man. Very personable. So I appreciate you doing that. Mine was twofold. When Merv first reached out about this, I wanted to put it like in almost like chronological order, but Merv mentioned something in his spiel where he was saying how the album resonates now more so than it did then because of events that took place in his life, and that's kind of how I looked at the Only Built for Cuban Links album. And I wanted to pair. I'm gonna tell you why.
I can't wait to hear this.
Because I wanted to pair the Cuban Links album with another album, but I want to start with Cuban Links because it came out in '95, and this album was very instrumental to me in my swagger when I was young. I was 15, and this was during the time where I've never heard anything before. Before this, I never heard anything before like Cuban Links. I've never heard an album that had that much of a storytelling to a T. It was cinematic to me because from the beginning, from the intro of the album, even to the outro, it was just cinematic the way that album was constructed. And the whole story behind On a Bill for Cuban Links was we need to get on so we can get out of this situation that we're in. That was the whole story behind Cuban Links. Like, we're gonna make this one last flip so we can get out the game because there's bigger things on the other side that we cannot continue to be in. And at 15, I was kind of at that impasse, right? You come to that fork in the road and you got two different ways to go. You can go straight. And in '95, I was in a spot where you had basketball, you had rap, you had my homies who were like selling drugs, doing some weird things out there. And I could have fallen on that side of the track, right? But this album during that time, when they were breaking down every song piece by piece in sequence, it taught me that there's more to just hanging around with the guys who I thought were cool, but they were still going down the wrong road, where I had basketball as my haven, whereas they had the street as theirs. And Cuban Links were just like that. Like Ghost was saying in his rap, like, yo, we got to get up out of here. Like, even all the song, Can It Be, the remix? You know what I'm saying? That song to me was like, yo, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in the hood. I don't want to be the one I don't want to see the things that I'm seeing out here. There's more that I can do. And I felt like at 15, some of my guys, they were into that life. I mean, they were really into that life. And I was that close to venturing into that life without even knowing it because I was in the crew. I was there. We were playing basketball. We would go to courts. And I remember we had guns pulled on us at the courts, on basketball courts. You know what I'm saying? Like it was nothing. And you think nothing of it because you're young. You're like, man, we go on a bike and we hop out, we ride out. You know, you don't think about it. But right. The last song on the album, which is it's a bonus cut on the CD, is called North Star. And Papa Wu, rest in peace, Papa Wu, he made he was talking to Ray. Like, yo, you got to get out of this. Like, this not for you. You need to study. You need to learn. You need to get on your grind. And that whole thing changed. I think it helped me in changing my trajectory at a very young age, because I could have easily been on the other side. A lot of those guys I've been running with, those guys end up getting like 20 years. Like, real talk. One of the guys I was in Japan. I ain't gonna say his name. I probably shouldn't even say this, but he got locked up. He has it going on. He had somebody buried in the house in the backyard.
Damn.
But these are my friends. Like, these are my friends. Yo, son came back home and sent me a Facebook request like 2 weeks ago. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. He did 20 plus, but I'm like, I don't know how he got out. I don't want to know. But I say that because that changed the trajectory. And the other piece, the other flip side to that was, of course, you guys know I'm a huge Nas fan. And we talked about this album a week ago. But it was written was the other side, because it was written came in '96, and it was written came out at a time where I was slowly changing my whole, like, I guess I was growing up. You turn 16, you start getting a different type of must, right? You get a little different type of must under your arm. And when this album came out, I ain't gonna lie, I bit Nas swagger, his whole style, clothing, demeanor, everything. This album made me really, really slow things down. Because even If I Ruled the World, when that song came out, and he was just talking about, if I ruled the world and everything in it, sky's the limit. I push a Q45 infinity. Yo, I was like, man, like the way he flipped that whole joint was just like, it just caught my ear, to the point where when this album came out, I changed my entire wardrobe. I told my mother, I was like, I don't want nothing but, the Levi silver tab. I want to start wearing like chuckers. I don't want to wear the sneakers for a little bit. I want to wear chuckers. So I started wearing like the khakis. Would have made Murrah proud. I started wearing khakis with the yellow eyebrow shirt.
I hear that.
Like it was a different thing. But I always tell you, I was wearing the Azar shirts back then were like a $40 a pop. So I used to do some yard work. Everything was legal. Got some yard work. A little bit legal, halfway legal, but I was getting Azar shirts, with the khaki short, with the khaki pants and the khaki shorts, dressing to school like that. So it was a different trajectory for me going into like semi-adulthood from It Was Written. Only bit for Cuban Links kept me from going on the other side of the track, but It Was Written kind of brought me back to like, not so much as a mafioso look, but more so of a clean look, if that makes sense. Start rocking the Wave 360. That was it. I had that moon crescent part. Queens get the money. So, Mo, going back to you, man.
So my my next album. All right. So Life After Death was, like I said, it started. That was like that's probably the album that described me, that I relate to in the early teenager to like becoming an official adult at 21, and then going transition into college. The next album. So these two. So I kind of combined two albums to describe the next phase. I go. The first one was Urban Legend with T.I.
Very underrated album too.
Huh?
Very underrated album.
Yeah, very, very. So that came out 2004, I think.
Yeah, I was in Germany. I remember I called back to the States talking to my brother like, "Yo, what the T.I. is getting it."
Yep. So during this time is when like I'm peaking as a young adult right now. Like I'm like a senior in college, about to graduate. I done finished playing football. I done crossed into being. I'm a capper now. And just like it's like it's my young adulthood. I'm living life, and so like just at a time where like my house was like the spot. If we had a club and the party's about to be over with, I go to the DJ and be like, yo, tell them party at Merv spot. DJ make the announcement. DJ make the announcement. Nobody asks for directions. Nobody be like, yo, where's that at? Everybody know how to get there. Everybody know where to go. Everybody know what time it was.
If you know, you know. I'm hurt.
So like, and then the fraternity I was in, we had some, we just had some very, very, very memorable, unforgettable moments, and they knew that it was Merv was always involved. So I was becoming almost like an urban legend kind of shit, because I run into real shit. I run into bros that live like another state over, and I'm out. It's like, when you see another bro, you always introduce yourself, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Merv. I'm like, yo, you the one that did, nigga. I've been hearing about you all. You know what I'm saying? I can't go in details because I gotta protect the innocent.
Hey, was this the house where the party was at?
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, Merv. I hate to cut into your time, but I gotta put this out. Merv had a house party. I don't even know what the fucking occasion was, but I was fresh out of Iraq, and I'm like, yo, I got to come down there. And it seems as though not just USC, seemed like town that came out. Seemed like everybody, and I remember these young boys. You had people that was coming. It was still early, leaving, and I remember this young. I remember this one cat was like, "Man, you got cats leaving," and the young boy was like, "Hey, niggas is leaving, bitches is still coming. I'm staying." I still remember that. And it was an epic house party. I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I had to throw that in there, man, because I know that house that you're talking about very well. When I was around, yes, I do remember that.
The original house.
That was before I crossed. It got crazier after I crossed. But that part that you talking about, Stacks, real shit, no bullshit. I had a representative from every college in South Carolina at that party.
Wow.
You can name any college in South Carolina. At least one person was at that goddamn party. So
it was Project X type shit, man. You seen that movie? That shit was wild.
So I picked Urban Legend, the title, with my like college days and Kappa days, and then there was also during the time that, like, for some reason, motherfuckers would just be upset with me. Like, so the song, a couple songs I picked off, like, "Why you mad at me?" You know what I'm saying? That because I had like cats who was like really either bothered by me or upset me, and I have no fucking idea why. I mean, I could assume, but I didn't know what the fuck's going on.
And like Cat Williams say, man, haters can't stand see the motherfucker win, bro.
Right. No, what Jay said. Just a matter of time, she was pulling up with Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and this also during a time when I also got to a point in life where I realized that everybody ain't your friend, or everybody that you think is cool ain't cool, right. Or people try to act like they know you just to damn kill your name or whatnot. So like, nice. You may see me in the streets, but nigga, you don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
That song right there. And just like I said, this is my senior in college, so like I'm trying to do big things. So the song Motivation, that shit resonated with me. He also got a song in there called "Praying for Me." So I'm praying for help, and he talks about the shit that he's done bad, that he knows he ain't perfect. He knows I'm going to need help to get to stay on the right path. And then he got a song. Now this is also when I'm in college. I just finished playing football. So when you play football, you have a lot of built up shit in you. So the song "Stand Up" off this guy with Lil Jon, yo. So those some songs I took off there that like, nigga, if I was in TI, nigga, I would have wrote that same fucking song. So those are some of the songs off of there that.
That's the Ludacris disc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a Ludacris disc.
It was.
Yeah. So that was my next album.
Okay, cool. Stats, what you got, man? What's yours?
I got a hip hop classic. It is the Jay-Z's Blueprint. The reason I pick this album, not only because it's probably my favorite rap album of all time, but Jay-Z had done some albums before this, you know, and I feel as though this is when Jay-Z came into his own, so to speak, reached the pinnacle. So it's around, this album came out on September 11th, 2001, the same day the Towers dropped. And I just happened to be, I was in between marriages. I was divorced, so I was single again. My career went kind of like, before that, it went like kind of like Jay shit when he made some tracks, but he wasn't really that known yet. When Blueprint came out, I was stationed in Fort Stewart. I was just coming back from Bosnia. Was on the bus coming from the airport, and I heard Izzo. So this is the album in which I kind of came into my own as an adult. I was 22 years old, and the first, you got the Rulers back, of course. And then you got the Takeover. I'm not going to make any Nas references, Shawn, but I feel as though that album spoke to it was my time. I was maturing, and I was at the stage where I was becoming a leader in the Army. So that goes on to, you know, girls. Had plenty of them. I was living my best life back then, doing my thing. So this was, and the rest of the album just speaks to me coming in my own, me being cool, but still keeping things in perspective as far as, you know, the song never changed. I'm still the same Hyson. I'm still that guy that, you know, that loves my city. Shout out to E. Ave, love my people and all that. Even though I'm coming up, I ain't gonna never change. You know, I'm gonna change as far as making myself better, but I'm still that same dude that, you know, when at the time where I went home on leave, I'm in the hood, drinking and partying and bullshitting with the fellas and shit like that. And you got the, of course, the song "Cry." I felt like this album kind of matched where I was at this point, because I was making a name for myself in the military, and things were going just great. I feel like I was at that pinnacle, like Jay-Z was when he made this album. He was beginning to come into his own as being great, and I felt like during that time, I was doing the same thing. I never forget, man. We got back from Iraq. I mean, not from Iraq. We haven't gone to Iraq yet. We got back from Bosnia, and I got the rental. I didn't have a whip at the time, and me and my boys was playing Heart of the City, rolling at the club. Got stopped by the cops. Fortunately, didn't get a DUI. Law was with me on that day, but it was just a cool time in my life, and that album really speaks to some of the successes I was having during that time. But the Takeover shit, it really like, oh, it's my time. I mean, I'd gotten some trouble before, you know, I had gotten to where I was in my life in the military and stuff like that. But this was a time where I started accelerating and making a name for myself, you know, at Fort Stewart, as well as being in the military. And that's why I chose the Blueprint, because that was kind of like the beginning of me being great.
Of course. Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes you hating a little bit, man.
I'm not. Not at all. Mine was Wu-Tang Forever. My second one was Wu-Tang Forever. The album came out June '97. It came out about a year before I went to boot camp. It came out over the summer of me going into my senior year in high school. And I remember, man, when this album came out, I didn't, like, similar to Murray's first album, this album didn't hit me. It hit me hard when it first came out, because I felt this was the pinnacle of Wu-Tang. I felt like the run that they had leading up to this was the perfect closing of the chapter of phase one. Kind of like Marvel. You had all the movies that took place before the Avengers first movie, where it closed out phase one. I felt like Wu-Tang Forever closed out phase one of the Wu-Tang saga. And this album didn't hit me until I actually got to boot camp. Because I remember listening to it almost every single day, studying it almost every day before I went to boot camp the following year, 98. And man, this album really brought me closer to self. Because in boot camp, you kind of isolated. You're away from home, away from your friends, away from your family, and you're isolated. You really have yourself and your thoughts because everything is going so fast. You don't have enough time to build friends over there because you're trying to like keep your head above water, literally and figuratively speaking. And this album, I memorized the album, which is crazy. I memorized the entire album when I was in boot camp because you can't listen to music. Like the whole time I was in boot camp for 3 months, you don't hear no music, you don't hear anything.
Right.
And I ended up running to one of the guys. He was close. He was a rack mate. He was close to me. And he was a huge Wu-Tang fan. And we were just talking one day when we had a chance to talk. And he said, man, you got to study 120. That's what you talking about. He said, man, you ain't a Wu-Tang fan. This guy, he was like into mathematics. So I started learning mathematics. I didn't have no desire to be a Muslim or no desire to be a 5%er, but I had a desire to learn mathematics. And the Wu-Tang Forever album was really about that. It was really about mathematics. I'm studying 120, you know what I mean? Method Man said, peace to the number 7. Everybody else get the 4, 9, 3, 11. I start breaking all of that stuff down. I never knew, I don't know if y'all know what 4, 9, 3, 11 really mean. Y'all know what that mean?
No.
You said peace to the number 7, because number 7 is the God album. 4, 9, 3, 11. If you look at the alphabets, number 4 spells is D. 9 is I, 493 is C, 49311 is K. Piece to the number 7, everybody else get the 49311. So he was saying, oh, I can suck my dick, but piece to the number 7. That was 49311 spelled out, D-I-C-K. So I was intrigued by the mathematics on what they were saying because the rhymes were so complex that on the surface, I didn't really, I loved it because I love the beats, I love the rhythm of the rhyme, but I never understood the definition of the rhymes. So I had to start studying it. I had to start learning exactly where we're just coming from. And it helped me throughout boot camp because it made me start breaking down fragments of and phases of boot camp that I struggled with in the beginning. Because again, you're in an unknown environment and I needed something to keep me centered. And I found that Wu-Tang album because I memorized it and I was able to really think through the songs and think through everyone's lyrics. It allowed me to really get centered. And I needed that album to help me be centered. And all because of mathematics. I ended up buying 2 of the Wu-Tang books actually. And the book also broke down the science behind their rhymes and their wordplay. And I started learning a whole different scheme of things, man, just by doing that. And even to this day, that has helped me out because there's a lot of things, a lot of jewels that they drop. RZA got a song called 12 Jewels when he was breaking down the 12 Jewels of life. And I studied that and all came from the Wu-Tang Forever movement. So that album to me is probably it's really my top 3 album of all time just because of the knowledge in it, knowledge being born. Be honest. And again, I'm not a 5%er, but just the fact that knowledge was in this album, I needed that during that time of my life.
It's dope.
So Merv, what is your last one, bro?
I got 4. Remember?
That's right. Yeah.
So my next one, and you said you thought about doing chronological order. These are in order. Like I'm doing my shit in order. Like the first one kind of described the beginning part. Like teenagers to college. The urban legend was the ending of college, so they kind of over life after that. Life after death overlapped with urban legend. Then life after death fade out. Then it was urban legend. Then urban legend started fade out because now his next album is I'm graduated. I'm in. I'm trying to figure out life right now. You know what I mean? I ended up proposing to like my college sweetheart. Just up and left. just up and left Columbia, moved to Greenville to try to make that work, and it didn't work out. Ended up getting fired from my job, and doing it, I didn't have no experience, so it's hard to get another job. So life hit the both of us, and we ended up breaking up, and I moved back to Columbia. So at this time, like I ain't got no real experience. Shit, I'm going through. This is my first time actually going through some hard shit. Like I'm dealing with life right now. So with graduation, we got the song "Champion."
Yeah.
So
Do you realize?
yeah.
You're a champion.
You got the song "Stronger." So you talking about what don't kill you make you stronger. Then and he's also then like and all these. I think "Champion's" number 2, "Strong" is number 3, and then right after that it was like. So now I'm working on a plan. Like okay, motherfuckers counted me out. I lost my ex over like basically financial situation. So now I'm like, I'm gonna get this fucking money, regardless of what the fuck anybody else says, or whoever don't believe in me, fuck them. So the song after that was, when I get to can't tell me nothing. So it's like, I'm visualizing, when I get this shit, when I get rolling, ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing.
Yeah.
And then no, I'm saying so at this time a lot of my experiences I've changed a little bit, but a lot of my experiences have made me who I am. So like the song you got everything that I am, everything I am. Yeah,
Love that
so
song.
and then just also during time, man, like I don't know if a lot of people know, but I think Stacks know, but like my brother on some real shit, my brother's probably has been the most influential person to me in my life over my dad and my mom. Because like I told you before, my parents had me when they was 43 years old. So like my brother was already like grown, almost kind of grown. We were like 15, they were 15 years apart. Yeah, we were like 15 years apart. So he was already like 16 while I was grown. So like when I was growing up, I'm always around my brother. Like he played football, I played football. His goes to the NFL. He went to the CFL and played Canadian Football League. So I was like, my goes to the NFL. He's a capper. He plays capper. That's how I first got introduced. I'm a capper. My first job was working with him. He started a landscaping business. He now has a lot clearing business. I have a landscaping business. Like my brother was hella influential with me on my upbringing and my ways. So there's a song on there he got Big Brother. There's also a stretch that we had a strain on our relationship, and it bothered me. So he got a song in there called Big Brother. His Big Brother song is for Jay-Z. He's letting Jay-Z know how he influenced him or he looked up to him, and Jay-Z didn't know this. So I will also have a Big Brother song, but it'll be to my real brother, letting that nigga know how much he influenced me, and I look up to him, and that's been my mentor, and nigga really never knew it. So like that graduation, that's how that hit me. Plus, like I said, this is me fresh out of college, so I already had my graduation. So that's how this album hit me, and this is kind of like Urban Legend is fading out. Then the era of the graduation is in, so that's what's going on now. So this is like between the 25 and 30. This is me coming into my 30s. I'm 40 years old right now, so this album right here would describe me going into my 30s.
I like that, man. Stacks, what is your next one?
My last album, and Shawn is kind of, I wouldn't say he's hating, but he's dying to hear why I picked this. I'm not saying he's hating, but he's dying to hear why I picked this. My the last album I picked was 444, and The reason is I'm gonna go here with this. I call this my retirement album. It just so happened to come out around the same time I retired from the United States Army. So I had dealt with a great deal of success, but it was time to make that transition. Um, like Jay Z said about Beans, make transition from the streets to the fame. So I was making the transition from Army to civilian. So there's a couple of things that I dabbled in that I didn't dabble in much as service members. You're not able to. I mean, I think this is I think some of the songs on here are conscious, like Story of OJ. I really got, not because of this album, but that's when I started getting into my political back, especially when I started really paying attention to politics and the plight of us as a people. Once I got out of the military and started paying attention to stuff, and figuring out how we could build, how could we be better as Black people. As far as Kill Jay-Z, the first song, that song to me is about accountability, and it kind of keeps you grounded because even despite all the success that I had in my life, there was some mistakes that I made, and I'm a guy all about accountability. So I think that was a song that looked back on, hey, even though I've been successful, there's some things that I did in my past that I wanna make note of, and let you know that I'm working on those things. And I recognize that I hurt some people along the way. So it's that record is kind of like reflection. I did a whole lot of reflecting once I retired. Smile, I attributed a lot of my success to my mother, simply because my father not being being here anymore. My goal was to just make her smile. It's the name of the song. Make her smile. Make her very, very proud of me, what she is. Caught Their Eye is kind of like, I know y'all see me out there. Y'all, I just retired. This ain't it though. I'm still going to be hitting y'all across the head. I'm going to compound that success that I had in the military, and I'm going to kill this shit in the civilian world. I'm like 4 years in, and it just so happens I'm about to move on to my next chapter I think is going to catapult me into, even more success to come. Family Feud, really, really love that song because to me it's kind of like forward thinking. Some of the lyrics go Super Bowl goals. Like, we ain't thinking small no more. We ain't thinking small. We trying to shoot for the stars. We in this position where we can, level up, and just like, Jay-Z got Beyonce, I got my wife, and we continuously building like we have for the last 19 years. But and the last song in this album, well, I mean, let's not go to the last song, Marcy Me. It kind of takes me back to my humble beginnings in Georgetown, South Carolina, where even with all the success, even with everything I've gone through, even though I say I got a blueprint, I never change. I'm talking about a disposition as far as not forgetting where I came from. That's what I mean by I never changed. But as far as Marcy Me, I can relate that back to, I've been all around the world. I've had successes. I've ate steak outside in Hungary and shit like that. But it all goes back to town, to E Ave. So just paying homage, to my own hometown. That'll always be home. And the last song just happened to be Legacy. Just putting myself in a position, where I can build generational wealth and leave my family. It's not all about me at the end of the day. It's about leaving something behind for my family, that they can build on, and we can build on for generations and generations to come. So that's why I chose that out.
I was worried, Stacks. I ain't gonna lie. When you first said you was gonna go this route, I was worried. But you did pretty good with that, man.
I know I did.
It's not one of my favorite albums, but
of course it isn't. It's a Jay-Z album.
Nah, because I'm gonna shock you right now. Because just like Merv, I had a bonus one. But before I get to my bonus one, this is my third, the Blueprint album.
Whoa.
Yeah. The Blueprint album came at a time when I was literally in like I was in a very weird space when Blueprint album came out. I was close to getting out. My first 4 years, it was done. My contract was up. My homies was getting out. Everybody was getting out during that time. My whole crew, and that's that pressure because you're like, man, I don't want to stay in because I'm, my guys are getting out. What do I do? 9/11 had just hit off. Kind of nervy because this is the first time we really have a true threat during my time in. When I first came in, Kosovo was really hot, and I had to end up doing that Kosovo debt. So you remember that's 97, 98.
Right.
Kosovo hit. And that was a small skirmish, but 9/11 had looked pretty big. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I was 21 at the time. Still didn't really have a good skill set in the military because I played ball the first 4 years. I really didn't do my job. You know what I mean? So it was such a huge gamble that I was taking to get out. And that Blueprint album really carried me through because I was dealing with personal things. My whiz at the time had dumped me, I think for the second time in our lifespan. So, you know what I mean? And song Cry was a song. That was a song. Like, you're not going to see me cry, but I'm going to let the song cry. And because that was the first time that I think in a Jay album really feel like it was speaking to me. Because even the first verse, like, good dude, I know you love me like cook food, even though a brother got to move like a cook rule. So I'm sitting here saying these things like we supposed to be together. We've been together since free lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, we've been together since free lunch. We rode a school bus together. You know what I mean? You don't get a brother back like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get right back. So I'm saying these things to her like, yo, what are you doing? What you talking about? I got benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like free medical, free dental, that don't appeal to you? Like,
I'm a man with pride.
You know what I'm saying? She called me. She was like, I can't do this no more. I'm like, what you mean do this no more? I got benefits. I got free medical, free dental. You don't like that. Free education. You know what I mean? But it was a situation where I had to grow up because at the time I wasn't doing no funny stuff. I wasn't taking care of, home. Even though we weren't married, we were dating, but we were still serious at the time. And I was playing basketball, like still playing basketball with the fellas. I was doing tournaments at USC Columbia, Merv, and passing right back something, going right to Columbia to play ball in tournaments. Not even saying, yo, I'm in town, because I was stationed in Beaufort at that time. I was stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina at the time. And we had tournaments in Columbia at USC. And just kind of put myself ahead of things. And that song, Cry song, was like Jay's vulnerability in a situation where he never showed that before, because all before then it was Hey Papi, the song, it was girls. It was all of that before song Cry. But this was the first time that Jay showed some kind of vulnerability as a rapper, because keep in mind, Jay was a playboy. He always talked about that playboy stuff. Like, and he even said it in one of the songs, I was so mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those things where you start seeing Jay at the pinnacle of the rap pantheon, because before then he had some hits here and there, but he didn't have a complete album, in my opinion. All the Reason Without is regarded one of the best work, is regarded a classic. I still feel that Blueprint was the complete body of work, because you had the best production that Kanye West could pull together. You had soulful music. You had the songs like Mama Love Me. That was a song that also kind of resonated with me as well, because again, during this time, as your first 4 years in the military, you don't really accomplish nothing. You don't have no money in your savings, really, because you probably spent all of that in other things, car or whatever the case may be. You're not really making much money, partying. And my mother, I got out for like a couple of months, and my mother opened her arms to me to come back home. I'm like, I'm 21, 22, living with my mom again. You know what I mean? Never thought this way. I done traveled the world, literally. You know what I mean? And now I'm back at my mom's house, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And this album came out at a time where Jay was just such in a confident mode. It helped me build a different confidence that I thought I had, being in the military, being in the Marine Corps at that, but I never had that confidence. Because when he had the song You Don't Know, when he was like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4. It's 18 months, 40 million more. Like when he started talking that talk,
add that number up to the one I said before. Now look at that one, smart black boy.
Mama ain't raised no food. When he said that verse, Mama ain't raised no food.
That was it.
On God's green earth, I triple my worth.
That was it,
bruh. That was it. Listen, this how this, like Merv said, some of these songs, some of these albums you have to go back and listen to. That verse when he said, "Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I triple my worth." When he said that, I was like, "It's time." The switch went on. The switch, like, it clicked on. Because I ended up going back before it was time for me to get out. I mean, for my time expired during that gap that I was gone. And from that time, I tripled my worth to the present. I was like, yes, I need to do something because I can't go back to what I left for a reason. I left for a reason. And that album was part of that. And the last song was a bonus track. It was Lyrical Exercise. And it was a hidden track. You had to have the CD to hear that song. And that Lyrical Exercise was something I played every morning when I was getting ready. And I was getting myself ramped back up. When I went on recruiting duty, I was playing Lyrical Exercise all the time. I'm like, I'm going to do things that these guys are not going to do. I'm going to be the recruit of the year as a rookie, which I happen to be. And I am going to win every single award that I saw the older heads were getting before I came on recruiting duty. And that song was the one that was giving me that motivation, Lyrical Exercise. And because Jay was killing it. And at the same time, he had just, he just killed Nas and Mobb Deep, Queen's very own at the top of, at Mobb Deep's top of their game at that time. Because this is on the heels of Quiet Storm. So I'm like, Jay is doing something, right? Jay is killing it. So Blueprint was mine. I know it's shocking, Stacks, but Blueprint was instrumental. I needed Blueprint at that time.
As you should, yeah. That makes sense.
So Merv, what was your fourth one, man?
I enjoyed your I think that's the album, your album description of which one of the ones that touched your life or you felt like at that moment of your life. I think I enjoyed that one the best. I mean, all of them was good, but that one, no, for real. Like, I like that one. I'm pretty sure
that shit was alright. That shit was alright. Ain't Ralph though.
My last one. So this is, so we graduation. So moved back. This is when shit broke up. Moved back to Columbia. Got back on my game and shit started working. So my last one is Scorpion.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, very much so.
Great.
I need to hear this because when you put it out, I was gonna message you back and say I need to know, and I said no, he ain't gonna tell me, so I just wait. Cause that's interesting.
This one right here, man. This So what Scorpion is a perfect title because like this is my 30s, so I had a lot of stings. From life, from different reasons, in my 30s. So at this point, I'm a parent now. Then me and my own child's mom got together, try to be together, moving in together, live together. Didn't work out. So like he got one of his songs. One song's called March 14th.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's born March 17th.
Mm-hmm.
That song March 14th is about his kid. And And one of his lyrics, he was like, "Damn, I used to get on my parents. Now I used to get on my parents for being a single parent. Now I'm a single parent. Shit, it was supposed to be. I didn't want that. You know what I mean? It's like, woof, because like I didn't want separate. How I never wanted. Whoever I had a kid with, that's who I like. Because I come from my parents divorced. You know what I'm saying? Live separate household. I was like, yo, whoever I have a kid with, that's where I was gonna be together. And it didn't work out. And I'm more upset that it didn't work out because my daughter has to do the I'm going to daddy house, I'm going to mama house type thing more than anything else. And when you said that shit, it was like, yo, I used to give my parents, because I used to tell my mom, like, yo, I don't want no stepdad. I used to tell my, you know what I'm saying? I used to tell like, yo, And I was like, yo, I was really determined, yo, whoever I have a kid with, that's gonna be with my son or my daughter or my kids, they're not going through that. And like when he said, I used to give my parents for being a single parent, now I'm a single parent, that shit hits home like a motherfucker. And especially with the fact that the song title is March 14th and my daughter birthday is March 17th. That was one of the things. So that was definitely a song that, yo, I could have wrote that shit. This also during the time that so like a song Emotionless. Emotionless, Jaded and Elevate. And I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? Some of those came from the failure of being my daughter's mom, and now my daughter got to be raised separately. I'm not in the same household, but also, man, when this album dropped, I believe this should drop 2013. I believe.
I think it was later than that, Merv. Because I remember listening to this joint like recently.
This is 2018, bro.
It was like 2018.
Yeah, remember damn, 2018, damn.
Yeah.
2018. I'm gonna tell you where the 13 came from. It's 28 album dropped 2018. The 13 came from my nephew got killed and died July 13th, 2018. So when this album dropped, it was already in heavy rotation with me. When I found out he got shot, then when I went down there, he ended up dying. And this is one of the albums that I was already listening to heavy rotation. So when I listened to this album, it's simply back to nostalgia of what happened then. So like Emotionless and I'm Upset. I actually think about what I went through with my nephew. I was like, yo, you got me emotional. I'm feeling emotionless. It's not having anything dealing with a female. I'm upset. I don't have anything dealing with like, I think with the song Upset, he's upset saying somebody, damn, you only put 50,000. You only put 50,000 on my head. I'm upset. I'm worth more than that. Like this nigga's upset because nigga only put 50,000 on the bounty on him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the song Upset. We talking about I'm upset. So I'm upset was like, damn, this what the fuck? That's what the fuck y'all kill my nephew for? So that's Emotionless, and I'm gonna say Emotionless, Jaded. Like when this album came out, man, I dealt with all kind of emotions, So it's like my nephew got killed, July 2018. I was officially separated from my daughter and her mom in 2018. So it was like just a whole bunch of emotions in my 30s in 2018 and before that this album right here described. So that's why I said when the name of the album being Scorpion, I had a lot of things that was associated with this album. But when you look at you got also I dealt with some shit with my family that I found out that damn, you can't trust everybody. So all ties, he was like, he was like, ain't no, damn, how does shit go? He's basically saying, we ain't brothers no more. We ain't brothers. We ain't fam no more. Ain't no more lovey dovey. Oh, ain't no more lovey dovey shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard that, I'm thinking like some family bullshit that I thought was family ended up betraying me. But with all that being said, he got songs like Survival. They got God's Plan. So like even through all that whole shit, a nigga survived. Nigga got back on his feet. I'm like, yo, there was God's plan. Well, I got motherfuckers wishing bad on me. It don't even matter. It's God's plan. So that's how Scorpion fit complete my cipher with the albums. Up until now, I don't know what the next album will be, but right now it's Scorpion. But Scorpion's fading out. I don't know what if we do this again next year. I don't know what that next album would be.
Right. Man, that's pretty deep, man. Because everything you mentioned, I know that backstory. I remember when you was going through it when your nephew passed away. You was in a really dark place. I remember that, and I hurt for you during that time, man. Because that was really tough that you had to go through. Merv type of person where if you know Merv and I are very similar in a way where we use music as therapy. And I remember it was like almost a whole month, man. You were just putting different songs on Facebook.
Yeah.
That you was vibing to.
That is right.
I sent you a text. I'm like, yo, man, if you need anything, let me know. And it was just that. It was just that. Because I remember that. Because I was watching what you was doing. And that's how we communicated. Yep, that's how we communicated. Through expressing ourselves through music. So when you pick this album now thinking about it, because you went through a lot. That was a tough year for you. You went through a lot personally. And
totally forgot about it. Shit.
Yeah, all of that was hitting around the same time. It was like back to back jazz. Like you weren't getting any rest at all. And I was like, man, I just hope my dude would just get some rest. Yeah. That's a lot to burden. You know what I mean? In 1 year, that's a lot to burden. Especially when you had the love of your life. You know what I mean? In different ways. So, man, just the vulnerability you sharing that with, man, that kind of got me a little, little tickle in my throat right now. It got a little tickle in my throat.
And let me tell you the crazy thing is, guess what tomorrow is?
13th.
The 13th?
Yep. July 13th.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Man, wow. Man, that's tough to follow. I want to close out. That's tough to follow. My last one, fellas, is something that is an album that I needed at a time when I thought that I had everything locked in. You know, I said about Blueprint and how Blueprint gave me the motivation. But you can't have Blueprint without having the GOAT, which is Nas, and Stillmatic. Because Stillmatic was like the resurrection. You know what I mean? When you think there's a takeover, there's not really a takeover at all. I mean, it's just, let's wait. But nah, really. Stillmatic is my last album that stuck with me because it was one of those albums that I think I needed at a time when I thought I had it. Every now and then, you get humbled by life. You know what I mean? Blueprint was that album that kind of catapulted me because I kind of got back into a groove mentally. And Jay was very cocky on that album. And I became semi-cocky when I was on recruiting duty. I went recruiting duty back in 2003, 2 years after this album dropped. And I was carrying that same spirit the whole time. But Stats, you know, just as much as I do, when you're recruiting duty, man, you can be a hero 1 month and you can be broken down the rubbles the next one, easily. Yep. And I remember I was so successful in recruiting duty, man. Like I said, being in magazines, Coup of the Year, every award you could name, I had it. They had a call from a full bird colonel. And anyone who's never been in the military, you get a call from a full bird colonel and you're a daggone sergeant. I mean, that's big. That's big. And I was there, but I had a team that was a bunch of misfits, man, and they were doing some wild stuff. And I remember arguing with my commander at that time. Like, he wanted me to get rid of every person in my office, and I was like, "Yo, you're not doing it. Like, let me fix it. Like, sir, with all due respect, let me fix it." And it wasn't that, and he wasn't feeling that, and he was like, he said, "Johnson, I don't care what you did for this unit and for the Corps. I don't care what you did. Like, if you don't get this shit right, you're gonna be out of here. Send you back to the fleet." Like, it was just that simple. It was just like that hardcore. And I've never had a conversation that hardcore in my entire career in the military until that time.
Hey, real quick, Merv, just to give it context. You heard what he said? He was a recruiter of the year, got all these awards. Yeah. And now it went from that to, yeah, if you don't fix this, we get rid of you. That's how that shit really was.
That's how it really was. And mind you, and Johnson, my homeboy, John, I know Johnson, Anthony Johnson, just retired.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were on encrypted around the same time. Not to say, look, Johnson, my man's, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was the first sergeant to be placed as a station commander. That was unheard of because I was in charge of staff sergeants who were higher ranking than me in the Marine Corps, right? And they took a gamble on him after that because I was so successful at it. I took a struggling station, which was Florence, South Carolina, and I turned it into where we were making mission all the time. So, and I had a bunch of misfits. I had a bunch of staff sergeants that were misfits, messing up, doing bad shit out there, right? And I'm like, yo, y'all need to chill out. Like, y'all need to relax. And I remember having that tough conversation, man. And the reason why Stillmatic resonates with me because I remember I had to go to my mom. I even come up, my wife and I just got married, just got a house, everything. I remember calling my mom and saying, yo, I failed. And I just started crying. I was boohooing like a newborn fucking baby. And she started crying. You know what I mean? Like, you know, on that song, on that song Merv, on a Scorpion album when Drake was talking about Sandra's Rose, his mom.
Yeah.
That's how my mom and I were. Like, my mom was like 5'2", 5'1", or whatever. So all of this is wet up. You know what I mean? Because she's hugging me, like, baby, you ain't disappoint me. You ain't, you know, mom got to give you that feeling and everything that you still the man. And I was scared to go to my wife, like, yo, I think I'm done. Like, I don't know what to do. Because I'm already emotionally jacked. Like, how dare you tell me, recruit of the year, that if I don't pretty much lie on these guys, my career is in the balance. Because that's what it had to be, because I didn't have anything to substantiate the claims that were brought forth. And I kept listening to Stillmatic, and I started listening to One Mic. And make a long story short, fast forward into my life now, One Mic became one of my favorite songs because of this verse. When he said, all I need is one life, one trial, one breath, I'm one man. What I stand for speaks for itself. They don't understand, don't want to see me on top. Egotistical. Talking all that slick shit the same way these bitches do. Wonder what my secrets is. Niggas move on you only if they know what your weakness is. I have none. Too late to grab guns. I'm blasting because I'm a cool nigga. Thought I wouldn't have that. That's done. Fooled you nigga. Then he was like, what would you call infinite brawl? Internal souls clashing. War gets deep. Some beef is everlasting. Think about all this shit was resonating with me. I kept playing this verse over and over. He said, what you call infinite brawl, internal souls clashing. War gets deep. Some beef is everlasting. Complete with thick scars. Brothers knifing each other up in prison yards. Drama. Where does it start? You know, the block was ill as a youngster. Every night it was like a copper get killed, body found in the dumpster. For real, a hustler, purchased my range. Niggas throwing dirt in my name. Yo, people were throwing dirt in my name, don't even know me, and I was taking care of them. But they've been throwing dirt in my name. That shit get me emotional.
That nigga was spitting on that. Hey, real quick, I ain't even lie. That motherfucker was spitting on One Mic. That motherfucker was spitting.
He was done, and he was done at the time because I was done, and he was like jealous because fiends got their work and complaining. Then he was like, bitches left me because they thought I was finished. She didn't know she wasn't true. She came to me with her man called a sentence. Diamonds are blinded. I never make the same mistakes. Moving with a change of pace. Lighter load, so now the king is straight. Swelling my melon because none of these niggas are hurt anymore. Telling police I can't, man. Yo, when he said that verse, and you think about the fact that when Jay dropped Takeover, we thought it was over for Nas. His mother was dying. He had things going with baby moms because Jay put it in the news and everything that he was sleeping with baby moms. You had all of that turmoil going at him, and you had people like Stax and Merv shitting on him. You know what I'm saying that it was over and all that stuff, and y'all counted him out, and he came back with that. Man, to me, that was like the rebirth and like the resurrection of me. Because
it's my favorite song on the album.
It's one of my favorites, and it's one of my favorites.
It's one of the realest shit he ever wrote, man. To be real with you, in my opinion, I mean, I'm willing to give flowers what flowers do. That motherfucker, he snapped on fucking one mic. He snapped.
Yeah, because he
did.
Because that's how I felt at that time. Because you know how, like Merv said at the beginning, he had people hating on him. They didn't even know him. You know what I mean? People throwing dirt in your name, don't even know you.
I like the correlation, Shawn. I really do like the correlation as far as the situation that you were in and how it correlates to that song. That's some dope shit right there, man.
Yeah, because at the time, as you know, your military career is all you got when you get into a certain time in your career. Like you're kind of like past the threshold where there's no turning back.
Right.
And I was at that point, and you got to keep in mind, just got married, got a new house. You don't know what's going to happen. You're like your legacy and your brand is in the balance. And at the time, I was creating a brand for myself. You know what I mean? And I was scared because I thought that it was over at that time. I thought that was the end of that chapter that I was writing, not realizing that chapter was closing, but there was new beginnings coming on the horizon. I just didn't know it. I just didn't see it. You know what I mean? And it's still being written, but I felt like that song and that album, like what goes around comes around, songs like that. You know what I mean? Just the songs on that album resonated with me so much. And One Mic was like the piece that I needed at a time when I was at my lowest. Because even at times when I feel like I'm at a low point where I put too much faith and confidence in people and I get disappointed a lot, that's the song I put on. And that's the verse I played over and over and over. Because I'm like, let me sit back and observe and see what's being played so I can play my hand the right way as well. And that's, like Merv said, to be continued. There are other albums that resonates with me, but that's the one that kind of closed the chapter on what made me.
All jokes aside, man, that's real shit, man. I know me and you going back and forth about the blueprint and Stillmatic, but yeah, that's real good shit, man. I salute you brothers for putting that shit together, correlating that shit to your lives, man. I mean to your lives, man. This shit was dope as fuck, man.
Absolutely,
real talk.
Absolutely, man. You be pulling shit out your ass, man. But we appreciate that about you, though, man.
Yeah, he's still a fucking dirtbag. We can't give him too much credit. We gotta keep him grounded.
Absolutely. We need to talk about that house that you had, though, man, off record. We need to talk about that.
Yeah, I got a feeling it could be like a leak that might be coming out by the Wednesday show, man. Just be out on the look of that, because some people be talking, man. I'm just saying.
Yo, get the liquor eating system, man. Let them talk. Don't forget the hashtag mute Merv. Don't mute him for this.
Mute Merv.
Mute Merv. You got to hear it. So, fellas, man, good show tonight, fellas. I appreciate y'all kicking with me. My man Marc is out and about in those streets. Marc is probably getting straight thrashed right now by some skeezers in Philly, man. So I hope he's safe, though. They probably got Marc tied up to all kind of stuff right now, doing all kind of
stabbed. Yeah, the niggas into getting stabbed. You always talk about getting stabbed. Like, what is that?
Yo, they probably got Marc. Hey, remember that dog mask they wear in Philly? Yo, Marc wearing that dog mask right now, man. Barking in the middle of Philly Road, man, zooted out. So I hope that brother is safe, man. But shout out to the brother Marc, man. Shout out to the fellas, man. Shout out to the team. Shout out to those of you who rock with us, man. Appreciate the love. Thank you, Rika, for always rocking with the guys, for being a loyal supporter. Georgetown, stand up, man.
Absolutely.
We got to get Rika on here one day to talk some music, man. Rika is a music buff. We got to get Rika on here to talk some music. Shout out to Tayson, Street Team General. Tayson actually messaged me, text me during the show, and Tayson is in Seattle, so our Philly guys are doing some traveling this week, man.
People all over the place, man. All over the place.
All over the place, man. Shout out to Bobby, man. I'm about to hit you up now, Bobby. I saw your message too. I'll hit you up. Shout out to our new friends, man, at Blast, man. And shout out to a good brother. I'm not gonna say his name, I'm gonna say his story or anything like that. But he shared some jewels with us today that he didn't have to. But that was love. And we appreciate that. We appreciate anyone who gives us the feedback, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. We really appreciate this. We do it for the love. We do it because we feel like we have something to say, and we do it for the people that rock with us. We do it for them. We do it for everybody to have a chance to be able to speak their mind and speak their piece. So that's what we do it for. So to you, brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate your candor, your feedback. You see Merv in all his glory. You saw Stacks in all his tonight as well. And it's not crowded. And you see those guys, and you see why I told you what I told you earlier today about these two gentlemen, because I appreciate them a lot as well. So thank you for that candor today. Thank you for that feedback today. It was definitely needed. And we definitely would take those jewels and apply them and continue to apply pressure. So again, shout out to Blackjack TV, Zingo TV channel 199. Shout out to Mile High Radio for rocking with us.
Absolutely. Salute one Mile.
Definitely shout out to those brothers on YouTube, Facebook. Shout out to the squad, front line and behind the scenes. We appreciate all the love. Fellas, that's a show for us tonight. I got to get on the road. I'll see y'all hopefully Wednesday night. If not, y'all do what y'all do, man. Vietnam, the kid is coming. So peace.
Peace.